Everyone, I'm Kalai from Training Art by 𝐼𝐾. I would like to welcome all of you to our webinar session. Our brand is Training Art by 𝐼𝐾, also known as TA. We are a training provider in the industry for the past 16 years. We have the purpose to help individuals to realize their potential and help organizations to reach new heights. We find joy and pride in what we do, and we believe that training should never be boring. Everyone has the potential to be extraordinary, and we can help that by providing exciting ways for people to learn, grow, and discover new perspectives in everyday life. Yeah, thank you for choosing TA's training to enhance your learning journey today. And most welcome for everyone who are new with us and also who have been joining us for the past few sessions. Yeah. So today our webinar will be of title The 7 HR Best Practices to Implement in Current Competitive Challenges. Yeah, we will be talking about the current HR challenges, and Haji Azmi will be reviewing the current challenges. Yeah, so let me just introduce a very quick brief intro about our trainer. Haji Azmi is an experienced professional with over 16 years plus in human resources and training. He holds a diploma in public administration from Mara Technology University and masters in human resource management from St. Clement University, UK. Haji Azmi has also held senior roles in multinational companies like Tyco Electronics, Sharp Manufacturing, and Flextronics Industries. Over 17 years, he has conducted training for numerous clients in Malaysia, Brunei, including companies like Honda Malaysia, Unilever, Proton, and more. Haji Azmi is associated with professional bodies like MIHRM, and holds certification in EQ training, NLP, and professional learning facilitation. Okay, let's welcome Haji Azmi. Good morning, sir. How are
Good
you?
morning. Good morning. Fine, thank you. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. So say hi to Haji Azmi. So is there anything else you want me to add to your profile just in case I missed out any?
No, it's okay.
Okay, before we start, before I pass the floor to Haji Azmi, can I just give you some ground rules of our training today? Please
All right.
mute your mic. Yeah, everyone, please mute your mic throughout the session and only unmute your mic when needed. Yeah, and Haji Azmi will open the floor for Q&A, and even if you have any questions in between, you can chat in the text box. Yeah, you can text in the chat box, or if it's something that you need to voice out, please do unmute yourself and talk. But please remain muting yourself for the effectiveness of the training session. We will have our short break at 10:30 for 15 minutes. Yeah, please get ready to video on your video camera at the end of the session for group photo. And if you have any question, you can also raise your hand in case you want to unmute yourself or anything, because we will help to unmute for you. And okay, so what are the okay? Please give yourself, make yourself present and keep giving emoticons and everything to show you are here. Give us more support. Yeah, and then what are the things? Okay, we will just to let you know, we will share slides thanks to trainer. He's able to share his slides, and we will also share this training session in our YouTube link later, which we will be sharing to you all via email only for those who have attended. Yeah, we will sharing the email. And most important thing, please change your name, rename yourself to the name that you have registered in NTW, so that you can get the certificate. Otherwise, we cannot match your attendance, so it's difficult for us to pass you the certificate. It's not us, it's through NTW. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Without further ado, let me pass the session to our speaker, Haji Azmi. So the floor is
Right.
yours. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Kalai. Thank you. All right. Assalamualaikum. Very good morning to all of you. Okay, welcome for this particular so-called webinar talking about 7 so-called HR practices that we like to implement in the current situation. I believe most of you are in the HR background, or I can say that it's as a part of HR practitioners, and you are eager to know what will be the so-called HR best practices that is still relevant to the current situation. All right, some of the module or some of the so-called sharing that I'm going to share with all of you might probably something common. All right, but I can say that most of those information that I'm going to share will slowly enhance your understanding about what are those so-called HR best practices that you want to keep and maintain in your organization so that you keep relevant to the organization. All right, so without further delay, but by the way, just to share with you in terms of the program rundown, okay, as mentioned by Kala just now, we might stop for a while for just a short break, okay, 10:30, and then we might finish this program, say about 12:30. In between, if you have any question, okay, either you just send your question through chat box. I will open through chat box, or you can just unmute yourself and ask any kind of question. Okay, all right. So let's begin. Okay, let me share my slide. Here we go. Okay. Now, let me introduce myself again, okay, using this a short video. All right. Right, so there's just a simple so-called introduction about myself. For those who just join us, okay, selamat pagi, assalamualaikum, very good morning to all of you. Okay, welcome for this so-called webinar. We're going to talk about 7 best HR practices that you can implement with this current situation. Okay, now I wish to start this particular webinar. Let me go here. So we start with a simple ice breaking. Okay, let energize everybody. So that you are able to warm up, okay, before we proceed with the rest of the module. So what I'm going to do, normally, when I start any kind of my session, any kind of training, I would like to understand my participant characteristic, okay, your behavior, your character, okay. Reason is, the moment I understand your character, easier for me to adjust my presentation according to the crowd and so on. However, if I wish to start asking everyone to explain ataupun describe your character, wah, dia akan ambil masa panjang. Alright, maybe orang kata half day will gone just like that. Alright, so what I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to conduct a simple so-called character identification. Cuba kenal karakter anda through symbol. Okay, menggunakan simbol. I simplified this particular ice breaking. Understand your character through symbol. Knowing your character through symbol. Okay, so in front of you, there are 4 types of symbol. We have square, we have triangle, we have hexagon,
Sir,
and we
sorry,
have
sorry.
circle. Yep.
Kalai
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
In the chat box, right, we keep, they say the sound is so soft, they can't hear.
Okay.
And there is a blocking. Yes, there is this blocking. We have tried to remove, but the block is still there. We have tried it just now. So we are very sorry for the inconvenience, but later we will be sharing the slides. So hopefully it will be helpful for you all, yeah?
Yeah. Can,
Yeah,
no problem.
and
Okay.
can you hear trainer now? Can you please give us some feedback? Is his sound better?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Still soft. But
Still soft.
on our side, we can hear him clearly. So is there any other feedback, please?
Hmm.
Yeah, clear, sound clear. Okay. Just the black box. Yeah, black box. I'm so sorry we couldn't move it because it's keep coming. We will share the slides later, so it will be have a clearer view. Yeah, okay. I'll pass the floor to trainer now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kala. Thank you. All right. So go back to this particular ice breaking. All right, whereby, as I mentioned just now, okay, it's just a simple energizer, to energize everyone so that you're able to so-called enjoy going through this particular training. So in front of you now, there are 4 types of symbol. I'm trying to understand your character through symbol. Okay, so we have square, we have triangle, we have hexagon, and we have circle. All right. So what I would like to do, I'm going to give all of you say about 1 minute. Okay. I would like you all to choose which particular symbol that you think it belongs to you, ataupun which particular symbol that you like most. Pilih satu simbol yang anda rasa anda suka, ataupun satu simbol yang anda rasa sesuai dengan diri anda. Once you make a choice, then I will explain to you what does those symbol mean according to your character. All right. So what I would like to do is that I want you to respond through chat box. Okay. If you can respond through chat box, it will be much better. See, let me see. Okay, good. Somebody start responding. Yeah, okay. You just choose which particular symbol that you think is belongs to you, atau which particular symbol that you like most. Pilih satu simbol yang mana anda suka ataupun yang anda, alright, rasa ianya sesuai dengan diri anda. Okay. Let me check the chat box. Okay, for those who have selected square as your symbol, so the meaning of that particular symbol to your character is you're very hardworking. All right, wow, congratulations. Siapa yang pilih square tadi, dia punya maknanya, dia punya simbol tu adalah very hardworking. Okay, good. Now, for those who have selected triangle as your symbol, okay, so what does it mean? Never give up, always do the best. Okay, wah, good, very good. Congratulations. Okay, okay, siapa yang dah pilih segitiga tu, these are the meaning of those symbol to your character. Okay, for those who have chose hexagon, what does it mean? Okay, highly committed person and very disciplined. Whoa, very good, very good. All right, so these are the symbol mean according to your character, for those who have selected so-called hexagon. And finally, for those who have selected circle, what does it mean? Oops. Majority, I can say that from the chat box, choose so-called circle as their symbol. Okay, so again, right, ini hanyalah ice breaking saja, energizer, just to energize everyone. So don't feel offended. Jangan sampai malam tak tidur pula fikir about this particular so-called ice breaking. Okay, we just want to warm up everybody so that we are able to proceed with this particular webinar in enjoy manner. Okay, learning through orang kata apa, enjoy environment will be much more better rather than you become so serious, because the topic that I'm going to share with you is a bit dry. Tapi baguslah because for those HR practitioners, at least you want to know what are those so-called HR best practices. Actually many banyak but then I short it become 7 best HR practices that you can implement in your organization due to the current situation. All right, let's move on if everyone is ready. Okay, now in terms of the so-called objective. Okay, wait. Okay, first of all, we would like to benchmark best HR practices. Okay, what are those best HR practices by whatever organization that we have in this world, right? Especially we are referring to those MNC, multinational companies, GLCs, okay? We would like to review the current HR challenges. In fact, later on I will share with you what are those HR practices that we need to implement due to the HR challenges. Okay, we have to together to build high talented employees. We're talking about this talent management, all right, succession planning. We like to enhance so-called the HR practice to enhance their role as an HR partners, and then plan to implement HR best practices. So all this that we are going to share with you later on. All right. Okay, let me proceed. Now, let's introduce to human resource practice in current challenges. Okay, some of you might probably quite new, okay, to this so-called HR function. All right, might be you just joined the company about 1 to 2 years, right? Some of you might probably have joined the company or become HR practitioners for quite some times, and definitely this is where you are eager to understand what are those so-called current challenges. There are many challenges, in fact. Okay, if you Google or you go to LinkedIn, for instance, there are a lot of people, so-called HR practitioners share what will be the so-called current challenges. However, for the purpose of today's webinar, I'm only focused a critical current challenges to open your mindset so that you are ready for future so-called function. All right. How are you going to enhance your HR function to suit with the so-called business strategy, and at the same time to make sure that those HR function that you're going to practice in your organization will be delivered successfully and effectively. All right. So let's go through this particular example. But before that, allow me to share with you this particular video here. All right, to relate what are those HR best practices that you can focus in order to make sure that HR practices are quite relevant and significant. Nak pastikan amalan-amalan HR yang you're going to implement in your organization stay relevant, bersesuaian within the organization. If you're ready, let's watch this video then.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we have an exciting topic to discuss, the best HR practices that can help you elevate your people management game. From recruitment to employee engagement, we'll cover it all. So let's dive in. Section 1, Recruitment and Selection. Finding the right talent is crucial for organizational success. To attract top talent, start by conducting a thorough job analysis. Tap into various talent sources and craft compelling job descriptions. But remember, fairness is key. Ensure unbiased evaluations and use structured interviews for a fair selection process. Section 2, Employee Onboarding and Orientation. A solid onboarding program sets the stage for long-term success. Make new hires feel welcome and valued. Clarify roles and expectations and provide necessary training and resources. A successful onboarding process leads to smoother integration, faster productivity, and higher employee engagement. Section 3, Performance Management. Performance management plays a vital role in driving individual growth and organizational success. Set clear goals, provide regular feedback, and conduct fair performance evaluations. And when employees face challenges, support them with performance improvement plans to help them reach their potential. Section 4, Training and Development. Continuous learning is the key to staying ahead. Invest in employee development through workshops, seminars, and online courses. Offer growth opportunities, mentorship programs, and coaching to foster professional advancement. By investing in your employees' skills, you invest in your organization's success. Section 5, Compensation and Benefits. Recognizing employee contributions and promoting satisfaction is crucial. Establish fair compensation practices by benchmarking salaries and considering performance-based bonuses. Don't forget about competitive benefits packages. Non-monetary incentives like flexible work arrangements, recognition programs, and wellness initiatives go a long way. Section 6, Employee Engagement and Recognition. Engaged employees are the driving force behind organizational success. Promote open communication, encourage collaboration, and foster a positive work culture. Implement recognition programs to acknowledge and appreciate employee achievements, boosting morale and motivation. Section 7, Work-Life Balance. Supporting work-life balance enhances employee well-being and productivity. Offer flexible work arrangements, such as remote work or flexible scheduling, to accommodate personal needs. Encourage time off, provide wellness resources, and prioritize self-care to create a healthy work-life balance. Section 8, Diversity and Inclusion. Fostering diversity and inclusion drives innovation and strengthens your organizational culture. Implement inclusive recruitment practices, such as diverse hiring panels and unbiased job descriptions. Establish mentorship programs and provide equal opportunities for all, creating a truly inclusive work environment. Section 9, Employee Relations. Positive employee relations are the cornerstone of a healthy work environment. Address conflicts promptly, provide support for grievances, and promote transparent policies. Strong relationships between employees and management foster collaboration, active listening, and mutual respect. Section 10, HR Technology and Automation. Leveraging technology streamlines HR processes. HRM software and automation tools simplify recruitment, onboarding, performance management, and more. Embrace HR analytics to make data-driven decisions and leverage the power of HR technology to enhance efficiency. And there you have it, the best HRM practices that can help you elevate your people management game. By implementing these strategies, you'll create a thriving work environment and drive organizational success. Remember, it's all about finding the right talent, engaging employees, promoting diversity, and embracing technology. If you found this...
All right. So I've just shared the beginning video just to give you an idea in terms of what are those so-called HR best practices. In fact, dalam video tu dia ada 10. Alright, I'm not going to go every in detail as I mentioned. Some school of thought mereka kata ada banyak, tapi kita nak fokus considering the company that set up in Malaysia, and based on the feedback that I received through LinkedIn and so on. All right, so let's focus only on the critical what you call it HR best practices, that seven critical HR services. Okay, but before that, just give me a second. I wish to open the chat box in case that you have any questions so far. Okay, kita tengok. Okay. Alright, ground rules sudah. Triangle, okay, this is now. Alright, now let's move on. Okay, let's move on. Okay, these are the first thing that I wish to share with you. Alright, pertaining to the so-called HR best practices. Okay, now the first thing that you need to understand, the HR best practice, we are talking about digitalization. Digitalization. Some of you might heard recently about AI, about chat box. Okay, so how many of you are able to leverage? Berapa ramai di antara anda yang boleh memanfaatkan so-called digitalization in your organization? Some of you probably dah mula menggunakan AI. Okay, I came across during my training session. Okay, there are some of my ex-participants, all right, start using AI for preparing documentation, come up with certain letter, come up with certain procedure. See how do you really leverage? Bagaimana anda memanfaatkan so-called the technology, the current technology. Okay, so the first what we call it HR practices that you need to look into ialah with the apa yang dipanggil sebagai industrial revolution phases. Okay, now Malaysia joined atau participated, alright, a revolution industry since January 2020. Alright, since January 2020, but then we are a bit slow because of by March 2020, March or April 2020, the whole world globally being affected by this COVID. Okay, tapi for kata apa, company, so for country yang considered as developed country, they already enter this revolution industry even since 2012, 2013. Malaysia agak lambat sikit to join this particular revolution phases. All right. The reason is that because we don't have the infrastructure. Kalau you understand or you realize, recently the government put a serious effort to upgrade all internet line to be efficient, meaning that they upgrade now no more using 3G, right? Or even some of you still mula gunakan 4G, 5G, and because of the seriousness of the government invest on the so-called telco internet line, and this is where we're talking about revolution industry. Okay, right. So revolution industry gives some impact not only in terms of the working environment, whereby a lot of so-called our working process being digitalized. And kalau you tengok dekat this particular chart, okay, industry 4.0, we are using a lot of cyber physical system, Internet of Things and network. Okay, now there is a lot of company using robotic and so on, right? Using computerized. Kalau dulu most of you are only focusing one particular laptop screen, but orang kata apa, don't be surprised for next 2-3 years. Ada di antara anda is going to focus two computer screen or 3 laptop screen. We're talking about multi skill, for instance. All right. So these are the situation whereby, all right, whether you realize or not, due to the so-called technology, due to the intention of digitalization, okay, slowly dia akan memberi impact. So I think you have to be serious enough from now on to explore or to leverage bagaimana nak menggunakan the new technology in your so-called HR function. Sama ada dalam recruitment, on payroll, on training, alright. You can use a lot of, even contohnya, how are you going to design a short course letter, for instance? You can use AI. How are you going to come up with certain HR procedures, for example? You can use AI. Instead of katakan you like to prepare employee handbook, right, for your organization. Okay, you can use AI, alright. Okay, meaning that nowadays, due to the digitalization, it makes your working life much more easier. Tapi kalau you don't grab that opportunity, right, you being left behind, right? This is where, you know, you are not able to cope up your so-called HR function together with the current technology. All right, so grab this opportunity, since everywhere in this world is talking about AI. Perhaps it is time for you to understand how can AI help. Agreed that not every particular HR function can be assisted by the so-called AI, but at least there are situations whereby you need to look into that. All right, how can AI help you on certain process, documentation, correspondence, all right, communication, and so on. Okay, so this is a just another example. Because of this industrial revolution, okay, nowadays most of the working nature, okay, whereby a certain industry they start moving towards having some robotic and so on. Let me share with you this particular slide here. Okay, at least you have understanding about how does those revolution. For example, like this case, this happened in Tesla, okay, California, whereby they don't use human anymore. They don't use manual labor anymore. Most of the so-called labor being replaced with robotic. Okay, I got a friend who worked at Nusajaya, Johor Bahru. Okay, at one particular industry, same thing. All right, dia juga menggunakan a lot of technologies. Nowadays, there's a lot of companies using robotic, for example. So the moment companies start invest on robotic, they start reduce the what you call it, the manual labors. All right, so this is where HR need to get ready with certain changes, certain policies, right? Because if you don't use manual labor anymore, there is no such thing of orang kata apa bonuses, salary increment, what else? Certain benefit you need to revise because everything's been replaced by robots. So you need to hire in future, alright, those particular human atau don't particular candidate yang very particular with this very, I mean, expert with the so-called robotic technology and so on. Right, Foxconn, for example. Okay, again, right, this is another example whereby they replace 60,000 factory workers with robot. Bukan 6,000, bukan orang kata apa 600, tapi 60,000. The reason is that because of salary. Because one particular production operator might be costly $5 per day. Okay, compared to technology, you only invest sekali saja. Contohnya kalau you beli robot tu dengan harga 5,000, itulah sekali. Alright, then you don't have to give bonus to the robot, you don't have to give medical attention to the robot, medical treatment and so on. Right, so all this, okay, Give you some example on orang kata apa, the situation. Okay, shipping, logistic, for instance, also are the same situation. All right, another example other than manufacturing industry. Okay, we are talking about shipping or logistic industry as well. Okay, let me see here. All right. Some of you might familiar with this particular equipment here. We call it as a container crane. Alright, tapi in Malaysia, most of our container crane, dia ada dekat bawah tu dia ada small box. Right? Dia ada small box whereby that particular box is to for the crane drivers, right? Tapi in this particular location dekat Los Angeles, California, most of the crane is run by computer, no driver. Okay, so in future, even in Malaysia, later on sama ada dekat Port Klang, sama ada dekat apa North Port, sama ada dekat Penang Port, or we're talking about PTP, Johor Port and so on. Sooner or later, they are going to move towards that technology as well. Okay, like even policemen, right? There are certain occasion like this has happened in Boston. Okay, whereby certain job function of a policeman being replaced with robot. Okay, security guard. Sekarang ni kita tengok most of the companies, we rely too much on foreigners, rely too much on Bangladesh people to be a security guard, Nepalese to be kata security guard. But in future, alright, you might seen this particular robot in a mall, dekat orang kata apa certain housing area, or even dekat certain factory. They will give, because I give you a simple example. To purchase this particular security guard, probably it just cost you about 6,000 to 7,000, but just one off. But then you don't have to pay bonus to this particular robot. You don't have to provide medical treatment to this particular robot. You don't have to provide salary increment. You don't have to provide uniform, hostel, transportation, and so on. You see, they save a lot. Okay, so you have to get ready. Being an HR practitioners, okay, I think another 5 years or 10 years from now, slowly, okay, that you have to get ready with this kind of what we call it as industrial revolution situation. Okay, builders, for those in construction industries, right? Okay, you find out that most of the construction industries are using high technology. Same thing using robot. Okay, kita tak jumpa lagi orang kata a lot of people using manual labors. Masih ada. I don't deny that. Tapi tak ramai. Kebanyakan orang kata the process of builders or construction for whatever project. Nowadays, even kalau you tengok dekat Malaysia ni, di KL for instance, or Shah Alam, or anywhere in orang kata Klang Valley, right? You akan dapati most of the particular builders or construction activities is being taken care with high technology, robotic and so on. Delivery guy, nowadays we still rely on Panda Food, we still rely on Lava Move, we still rely on Grab. Don't be surprised, for the next another 5 to 10 years, you'll find robotic will moving around here and there to deliver certain food ke ataupun certain items and so on. In Dallas, US, they already started with that kind of arrangement. And don't be surprised, in Malaysia, sooner or later we are going to experience the same phenomena as well. Restaurant workers, this one I believe most of you have already experienced. Dekat McD, dekat KFC, dekat certain Pizza Hut, whereby that particular so-called industry, they start reducing orang kata apa, a lot of manual labors. They replace restaurant assistant, kitchen assistant with apa dia panggil computerized punya orang kata apa, approach, technology punya approach. Even kedai-kedai mamak pun sometimes I came across, they don't use human to send the foods, they use robot, to send the foods, meaning that they are already, some of the restaurant are moving towards that technology, robotic the technology. All right, drivers, you're talking about Grab car or whatever healing industry. Okay, and sooner or later you'll find out that even in US they already started, in China they already started, in Japan as well they already started, whereby all those what we call it certain taxi, certain Grab, they don't use drivers, right? The car can move by themselves by using satellite, computerized, and not only cars, even lorries. Okay, nowadays to hire a lorry drivers also, it's not that easy, because some of them prefer to be Grab riders. All right, will be much more easier life in terms of not to rush and so on, compared to be a truck drivers. Some of what I call it, logistic companies do share with me, they have difficulties in hiring. And then you just give them, say, another 5 to 8 years from now, I have a feeling that's sooner or later, truck will be moved by themselves. Like for example, this company here, Ford makes surprise unveiling of electric self-driving. Dia gunakan istilah self-driving, zero emission truck. Sooner or later, this is also going to happen in Malaysia. And due to those, whatever I've shared with you just now, approximately 400 million people worldwide will be shifted from people and they're going to be displaced by technology, being replaced by robotic. So being an HR practitioner, you need to get ready. Number one, the implication is that, there are, some of you might came across this particular newspaper cutting, right? A lot of people become jobless. In fact, based on the statistic given by a statistical department, March 2024, we have about 400,000 people jobless in Malaysia. Ada 400,000 pekerja mereka yang menganggur. And out of 400,000 tu, 60% came from company that closed down. Some other that company being relocated, whatever it is. Another 40% adalah those people who yang daripada fresh graduate, school leavers and so on. All right, so these are the thing, the impact. All right, meaning that, some company dah mula consider doing a lot of so-called layoff activities, retrenchment activities. They start doing downsizing, they start doing restructuring, and they start aligning with current technologies and so on. So you have to get ready with those so-called situation. Okay. Yes, agreed, Tedarasan. All right, human interaction is important rather than hiring robots. But then one thing that you need to so-called consider seriously, there are certain process in our organization, sooner or later, will be replaced by robots. Even not everything's lah. All right. They are. Of course, I can say that we talk about HR function. Because HR normally you deal with the human, you deal with the employees, you deal with the people around you, people management. All right. So HR normally we need a human to handle. But then like payroll can be, you can use technology. All right. Training, you can use technology. All right. When it comes to recruitment, you can use technology and so on. All right. So meaning that certain part of HR process, you can get ready. Remember just now I did mention to you, okay, you are using AI, for instance, okay, for certain documentation and so on. So AI is a part of technology. All right. Kalau you nak rely on human, some of them might probably having certain knowledge, some might not have. But by using AI, okay, AI can assist you a lot. Jadi this is what I'm trying to say, that you have to grab that opportunity to leverage whatever technology that you have in your organization, so that you are able to enhance your punya HR function more effective. All right. Yeah, Siti Nazrina, I agree with you. Okay, to maintain a robot or AI, I need another staff. Yes, betul. So sometimes it happens in such way. Alright, yeah, robot cannot run by their own. Kemana robot tak boleh bergerak sendiri. So by hook or by crook, you need another staff to monitor and so on. Okay, I agree with you. Tapi what I'm trying to address is that, okay, the moment your management decided to convert or to transform certain process into AI, certain process into robotic, this is where you start thinking in terms of how to go about. Okay, so the moment I share this to all of you, you can get ready. Oh, another 3 years from now, 5 years from now, okay, sama ada your management do it drastically ataupun they do it slowly. All right, being an HR practitioners, we have to get ready with those particular changes. All right, because now it happens. It happens on certain kata apa industry. Even if you go to Putrajaya, if you go to Cyberjaya, certain process of the HR function start orang kata apa using orang kata technology to assist. True, Tenarosan. Okay, we still need the human operator to apa to run the robots, the technology, and so on. Very good, so-called input. Thank you. All right, now let's move on. Okay, so the first HR best practices that you need to start consider seriously or need yourself to get prepared. Okay, we're talking about industrial revolution. Because Malaysia now is moving towards that industrial revolution. So the impact of industrial revolution, two things. Number one, we're talking about robotic. Number two, we're talking about technology, digitalization. So I think HR need to slowly pick up certain new knowledge, how to so-called using AI to make sure your process, your working process will be much more effective and efficient. You have to use technology, because later on, I have a feeling that everywhere in or every industry, the moment you meet any of your HR friend from any organization, they will start talking about, okay, venture into this new technology, venture by maximizing using AI in their so-called work process. Okay, and some of them already started using robotic in their organization. Maybe they can share with you. Okay, so the first thing HR practice that you need to understand is that the revolution industry. Now the second thing, okay, we're talking about leveraging generation diversity. Okay, bagaimana kita memanfaatkan perbezaan generasi. Okay, forget about veterans, forget about baby boomers. Okay, and I believe in your organization, you still have Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z. Okay, Generation X start orang kata apa, leaving the company due to retirement and so on. Kalau ada pun mungkin lah, alright, another 5 to 10%. Tak ramai. Yang ramai in your organization is Generation Y and Generation Z. And sooner or later, another 2 years or 3 years, Generation Alpha is coming in. Generation Alpha ni sekarang ni tengah final year in certain college, university, and some even dah start mula masuk in certain industry. So when Generation Alpha start coming in, they will bring in certain characters. They will bring in certain behaviors. Ini kita nak kena tengok. Another challenge to HR, but at the same time, you need to get ready. Because different generation, when they come in, they bring a different habits. You like it or not, you have to leverage those diversity, manfaatkan perbezaan tu for the benefit of organization. Alright, I could not find any organization yang mana dalam organization tu semua Gen Y saja ataupun semua Gen Z je. Tidak, dia ada mix. Even dalam HR department tu sendiri dia ada mix. Ada yang Gen Y, ada yang Gen Z, ada yang Gen X. So when there is a mix of orang kata apa generation, dia akan create a lot of orang kata apa issues. Sometimes it affected in terms of teamwork, sometimes it affected in terms of communication, sometimes how do they handle job and so on. So you need to start looking seriously. Different generation have different apa dia panggil strength and weaknesses. Okay, so you need to kata apa openly realize so that you get ready. Okay, kalau contohnya dalam recruitment, for instance, okay, I'll give you a simple example lah. Nowadays, new generation, they might don't stay long in certain organization. They hip hop from one company to another company very frequent. Some not even able to cope up with what you call it, challenges. Baru kena pressure sikit dah leave the company and so on. Alright, some they even looking job opportunity yang betul-betul enjoy work-life balance and so on. So what I'm trying to share here is that because of different generation, they came with different characters, different attitude. So being an HR, okay, these are something that you need to so-called not only realize, but you need to get ready. All right, because you need new blood, you need new generation, you need people who are quite genius because they will come in together with new creative ideas. Okay, kita tak boleh bergantung. Yeah, we still appreciate for those who have been senior working with our organization because their experience and so on. Tapi kita need a mix of junior and senior, a mix of a team of people. That is why talking about generation diversity. Now, let me share you this particular video to give you understand about even this one. I have even illustrate you, okay, a different generation. What are those so-called diversity, such as social markers, iconic cars, iconic toys, music device, leadership style. So dia akan bagi you gambaran. Okay, so when they have a different character, diversity and so on, so you must get ready with that. Being HR, you must get ready. So the moment you do hiring, you do recruitment, you might came across certain funny things being highlighted by this different generation. Okay, so get ready with that. Okay, all right, let me share with you this video, at least to give you understanding about how to leverage, bagaimana kita nak memanfaatkan different, what you call it, so-called diversity ataupun generation diversity, perbezaan generasi and so on. Okay, let's watch this video then.
Diversity is a reality for most of us, but is it an asset? The evidence is clear. Across public and private sectors, diverse teams are more effective. At a time when we need to collaborate more to advance peace, security and sustainable development, we need to work together better. I am Fleur Hayworth and I am Course Director for Leveraging Diversity to Increase Performance. At the Geneva Centre for Security Policy, diversity is a part of our DNA. We bring together participants from around the world and across sectors to learn, exchange and grow. We help them to apply inclusive leadership practices that enhance team performance. This one-day intensive course is designed specifically for current and aspiring team leaders who want to get the best out of their colleagues. Come to challenge your assumptions and discover ways to overcome bias. Learn about group norms that enhance team performance and collective intelligence, and apply practices that build trust, respect, and bridges within your team. Take a moment out of your busy schedule and join us in Geneva.
Okay, so that give you so-called an idea about the different generation, atau we call it as generation diversity, perbezaan generation. And when there is a perbezaan generasi, okay, definitely we cannot run away, or we cannot make a decision ataupun kita nak tetapkan okay, one particular department only Gen Y saja yang kerja, atau kita tak boleh tetapkan this particular company only considering people who are Gen Z, for instance. They don't hire another kata apa, people from another generation, tidak. Okay, in any kind of setup, whatever industries, ada hotel ke, university ke, alright, manufacturing ke, construction ke, it is a mix. Okay, it is a mix. So mix of generation. So this is why we are using the terms of leveraging. Kita menggunakan perkataan memanfaatkan. So when you talk about leveraging, meaning that you have to see what is the strength, what is the weaknesses of different generation, right? Yeah, we're talking about Gen X, for instance. Gen X are people like me, for instance. Okay, in terms of strength, maybe experience, right? But we also have certain weaknesses. We a bit have certain weaknesses on technology. We have kata apa, certain weaknesses in terms of ideas. Mungkin our idea kata apa, still consider about kata apa, old school of thought, whereby new generation they have a new school of thought. They become creative, right? Cara bekerja dia mungkin lebih cepat, lebih mudah, whatever it is lah. So being an HR, okay, the second HR best practices that you need to develop to yourself, get ready with different generation, because different generation, they will come in to your organization with different characteristic. It doesn't mean those particular characteristic can contribute something negative. No. Okay, as I mentioned just now, each particular generation, they have pro and cons, right? It depends how you maximize their capability and try to minimize their weaknesses. Okay, but then you can only do that the moment you realize, bila anda mula sedar akan kelebihan dan kelemahan, then you know how to tackle. Pertamanya you don't be orang kata upset with the certain unexpected characteristic ataupun behavior from certain generation. This is quite common. Alright, it is quite common. Saya remember masa we're talking about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, masa saya become HR so-called manager. Alright, so during interview session, okay, during that time, we are looking for engineers. Okay, then during the interview session, there are one particular so-called candidate is asking me a question, a simple question. Dia kata, in your organization, do you have Wi-Fi? Can we serve internet? So during that time, it's quite new to us. So the moment we receive that kind of remarks, okay, the first thing that come in our mind, dia kata, this guy nak bekerja ke? This guy nak orang kata sibuk dengan media sosial and so on. But then, you know what happened? After that particular interview, ramai new candidate, particularly from Gen Y and Gen Z, have that kind of behavior. then we make assumption, okay, oh, inilah karakter yang terbaru, meaning that, you know, those who are join the company, those who being hired by the company yang jatuh di bawah kategori Gen Y or Gen Z, mereka not only looking on the salary, not only looking in terms of compensation and benefit, tapi they are looking for a company that give them some flexibility to also involve in their own personal media, social and so on. Alright, so that is number 2. Number 1 tadi ialah revolution industry. We're talking about robotic and digital. Number 2, we're talking about different generation. How do we leveraging generation diversity? Now, number 3, streamline the recruitment and hiring. Okay, this is number 3. All right, streamline the recruitment and hiring. As I mentioned earlier just now, based on the statistic, March 2024, ada 400,000 pekerja yang menganggur, 400,000 jobless. So what does those data means to us? Maknanya we have a lot of resources. You're talking about human resources. We have a lot of human resources to fill up in our organization. So to do that, we have to streamline the recruitment and hiring. Streamline means that kita kena relook kita punya recruitment process. Okay, sebab of course we are looking opportunity to hire best candidate so that they are able to perform effectively in your organization. But in order to hire a best candidate, you must have a best practice. You must increase as your so-called expectation. So these are some statistics where traditional interviews fail. You kena ubah cara interview. That is why we're talking about streamline the recruitment and hiring. We are not using the conventional interview method. Okay, apa yang dimaksudkan dengan conventional interview method? I'll give you a simple example. Right, even nowadays some companies still practice in such way. Bila you organize interview, you akan ada satu bilik, ada satu meja, 3 orang panel duduk dekat situ. Alright, and then you're waiting for the candidate to come in. Right, the moment the candidate knock the door, yes, please come in, have a seat. Okay, so itu dipanggil conventional approach, cara interview yang lama. Nowadays, you came across that there are some big companies when they organize interview session, they do it many other ways of doing it. Ada yang interview candidate dekat Starbucks, ada yang interview candidate dekat McD, ada yang interview candidate dekat certain cafeteria restaurant, ada yang interview candidate using Zoom, using MS Team, using whatever it is lah. Alright, meaning that they don't limit, because why? When you using a traditional interview, all right, you are not able to capture the candidate capabilities secara genuine, right? Because some of the candidate they are very smart, they know how to hide dia punya so-called weaknesses and so on. Tapi bila you move towards, like, you know, for example, when you conduct interview dekat McD, you conduct interview dekat Starbucks, you conduct interview dekat certain fast food restaurant, whereby it is informal setup, slowly you akan nampak what they call it, the true colors of the candidate is there. So it gives you some clear indicators, all right, in terms of the candidate behavior, the candidate potential and so on, and it helps you to determine the exact so-called characteristic of the candidate they are looking for. Okay, so daripada statistik ini nampak, assessing candidate soft skill. Alright, most of our traditional interview, we focus too much on IQ, we less focus on EQ. IQ itu you focus more on the qualification, on the working experience, the skills. That is IQ. EQ is that how do they deal with their people, how do they deal in terms of being a team player, how do they communicate, All right, and this was soft skill, meaning that from now on, if you happen that you are going to conduct interview later on, okay, don't focus too much on IQ. IQ is just a license for them to apply for the job. Tapi spend a lot of spend a lot of time on EQ. Right, ask case study kind of question, scenario kind of question to see their behavior, their characteristic, and so on. Okay. Next, you see understanding candidate weaknesses. Okay, this is where you're talking about EQ as well. We're trying to identify their behaviors. Okay, sometimes it happens bias of interviewers. Okay, bias means that there are some orang kata apa influence factors. Sometimes whereby they being recommended by somebody, ada tangan-tangan ajaib yang sometimes influence you to take that particular candidate even though that candidate is not capable. Alright, they might be having istilahnya this particular candidate have orang kata apa very good cable, kerana banyak gunakan istilah cable, right? So that's why they're being hired and so on. So ini akan menyumbang kepada bias of interview. Alright, 36% on too long of process. Okay, dulu during my working time, we do have what we call it as first interview session, second interview session. Even some company practice third interview session. It's too long process and sometimes drag such that upon completion of that particular interview session, it might take about more than 4 weeks for that particular company to make a decision whether to hire or not to hire. Yang ini juga boleh menyumbang kepada interviews fail. And the last one, not knowing best question to ask. This is where you need to train your managers, your executive, whoever become a panel of interviewers. They must know in terms of how to interview. Apa yang berlaku ialah sometimes when they during the interview, okay, they only ask one question. If that particular candidate can answer the question, they move to another question. Okay, lepas tu kalau that candidate can jawab, boleh jawab, they move to another question. No, the concept is that the moment you ask one particular question, if let's say the candidate can answer you, you chunk down, you go in detail. From one particular question to you zoom in to few more questions that related to the first question. To see the consistency, nak melihat consistent tak consistent mereka menjawab soalan. Okay. Now, most useful interview innovation. Okay. Again, kita cerita pasal soft skill assessment. And don't focus on the IQ saja. You focus on EQ. Some even using job audition. Job audition ni probably they give you certain project, certain assignment, they try you. Sama ada lately ni, okay, some company they create a project and then they hire you, okay, for short period to see how do you deal with that. Okay, some they might be putting you under fixed term contract 3 months. All right, they try to test you, right? Okay, during these 3 months, if you are able to perform well, then they convert become a permanent staff, for instance. Okay, that's what because they would they do like to make sure that you are not only good in answering question during the interview, but practically you are able to perform according to their expectation, right? And then meeting in casual setting, meaning that you are able to adjust the candidate are able to adjust in every kind of situation. Okay, same goes with virtual reality assessment, all right, and video interview. So meaning that by looking at this particular graph here, certain company they are using different method. The reason is that they would like to engage or they would like to hire a very good talented people. Okay, so number one, as I mentioned, since that we have about 400 people, 400,000 jobless in the market, and you want to attract those good candidate, okay, increase your standard and selection criteria hiring. Okay, the moment you increase your standard, meaning that the moment you want to hire a person, you do focus on the best candidate, right? Not only in terms of the you call it degree, diploma, the IQ part, but you also increase the standard in terms of EQ part. How do they deal? How do they work? So during the hiring process, human resource department select and hire new employee for the organization. So establish the successful hiring process so that you are able to improve your new hire. Okay, cuba lari daripada the traditional approach. Okay, cuba keluar daripada the traditional kind of orang kata apa interview process. Okay, you kena be creative enough, alright, to conduct interview cara yang berbeza. Okay, that's why talking about increase your standard and selection criteria of hiring. Okay, might be okay. You contohnya perhaps during the interview you can create a certain scenario during the interview itself. See how do they handle. All right, how do they deal with that? From there, it gives you some indicators whether that particular person is suitable or not. Okay, so again, increase standard and selection criteria. And then in order for you to increase standard selection criteria, number one, branding your advertisement in attracting high talented candidate. Cuba baca those advertisement, sama ada internet advertisement ataupun online newspaper advertisement, for example, right? Some company they immediately straight away advertise certain position and they list down what are the criteria. There are certain company before they advertise the position, they come up with a small write-up, introduce about the company. This is what I'm talking about branding. How do you brand your culture? How do you brand your company setup? How do you brand the whole environment in your organization? Because remember, Gen Y, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they are not only eager to know your so-called compensation and benefit. They're also looking in terms of the company culture, company establishment, and so on. Right, so it depends how you brand your advertisement. Okay, itu banyak mempengaruhi dari segi to attract high candidate. Those candidate yang kata apa potential, yang high potential ni, normally before they decided to apply for a job, they will read the what you call it, the setup, the write up of the company. Okay, then sometimes they even go to your so-called website to understand further about your company culture and so on. Okay, again, number one, branding your advertisement. Number two, boost your candidate sourcing using various medium. You can even use headhunter, you can even use job fair, you can even use whatever medium lah. All right, and then you can even, as I mentioned just now, all right, you can even invite that particular candidate to do presentation. You can even invite the candidate to come in to do a small project, because okay, by doing so, actually it give you some indicators whether that candidate suitable not to suitable on certain criteria. Transform your interview methodology. Jangan gunakan cara lama. Right, the moment you use cara lama, meaning that you will get candidate yang biasa. So you are looking for luar biasa, an extraordinary candidate, high potential candidate. So you kena guna cara yang berbeza. Some even use competency based interview. Alright, ada di luar sana. Kalau you go for orang kata apa Google, okay, you type competency based interview. So those particular question, the panel through to the candidate, they're using a lot of competency question. Sharpening your questioning skill and other profiling tools. Okay, all right. So the executive, the line managers, right, the supervisors, you need to train them how to, or you need to sharpen their knowledge in terms of their questioning skills. So if they are able to throw a good question, all right, then it gives them opportunity to look for a good candidate. Okay, and last is exploring convincing strategies, meaning that you are trying to use some other method other than so-called questioning, traditional questioning and so on. Such as sometimes you give that particular candidate an opportunity stay back or to factory tour, or might be induction program, okay, whatever it is lah. So that will helps the candidate to understand your organization better. Okay. So again, okay, as I mentioned that some company are using competency-based interview. Okay, competency normally they are referring to three main elements. They are focused on knowledge, they are focused on skill, and they focus on attitude. All right. So whatever question they're going to design during the interview session, those particular questions are going to focus much on knowledge, skill, and attitude. Okay, for example, knowledge and skill normally being questioned atau being asked by the respective HOD, respective managers, whereby attitude normally being asked by HR people. Okay, so during the interview, you normally have 3 panel, right? So you can divide. Okay, the first panel from HR, maybe you focus on attitude. The second panel, maybe you can ask question focus on skill. The third panel, maybe you can ask based on knowledge. So competency comprise these 3 element, knowledge, skill, attitude. Okay. So you need design more question using all those 3 elements that related to the position applied. And it is advisable to use JD, job description, as a reference. And from this, use KSA to design and build a respective question. Okay, knowledge, KSA referring to knowledge, skills, and attitude to design and build the so-called respective question. So this is one interview, competency-based interview. Some companies still using, they call it as behavioral interview technique, BIT. Some company even combine behavioral and competency. Okay, what I'm trying to address is that you don't use just a normal ataupun just a simple so-called interview method. Simple interview method means that soalan yang you throw just a general soalan. Right, and this is what happened to most of HR practitioners. Bila dia conduct interview, dia tanya soalan-soalan yang quite general. Alright, as I mentioned just now tadi, in order for you to streamline you punya so-called selection, you need to increase you punya apa kata standard. So bila you kata you nak increase standard, you kena pilih-pilih soalan yang macam mana. Might be you're using competency-based interview, or might be you're using orang kata behavioral-based interview. Why? Reason is that nowadays candidate are very smart. Kena pula kita cerita pasal AI, dia boleh refer to AI. If a panel of interview ask me this question, how should I answer? Dia boleh prepare script, dia boleh hafal script, dia boleh memorize the script. Alright, so kalau you are not smart enough, you mungkin be influenced by their techniques. Sebenarnya mereka tidak ada pengalaman, but mereka memorize those particular script. By using AI, they are able to come up with certain spot question, and they know how to answer those particular spot question. Okay, so be careful. Kerana itu untuk mengelakkan itu berlaku, and when I mention you increase your standard of so-called selections on those particular question that you're going to ask, for example, you can base on competency-based interview, or you can base on behavioral interview. Okay. Before we go to number 4, let me check the chat box. Okay. Okay, somebody already asked about KSA, Salnawi, and Nuruhuda already explained knowledge, skill, and attitude. Thank you, Nuruhuda. Thank you very much. All right, guys, before we go for the fourth best practices, okay, let's have a short break. Okay, let's have a short break. Okay, kita akan bagi you all break for a while for 15 minutes. Okay, wait, confirm your speaking language. Yes. Okay, so we get back say about 10:35, boleh? Right, kita berhenti 15 minit. See all you back at 10:35. Okay, kalau boleh kita break for a while to memberi ruang untuk anda rehatkan mata, right, for a while. Okay, see you then 10:35.
Yeah, we'll see you back in 10:35. Thank you. Hi all, welcome back. It's 10:35. Yeah, I think we can start. So is everyone back? Just type 1 at the chat box. Hope all is back. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So we can see some black box. If you can move those.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
that one, the middle, yes.
Let me see. Okay.
Yes, okay, come back again. Better.
No black box, right?
Okay, enjoy everyone.
Okay.
Have a good
Good.
session.
All right, just to recap, okay, the first HR best practices is that try to get yourself prepared with this revolution industry. Okay, revolution industry 4.0, whereby two things, as I mentioned just now. Number one, you're talking about robotic, all right, and technology. Number two, we're talking about digitalization, AI. Okay, so you like it or you don't like it, it seems like most industry is moving towards that. Okay, so you have to, and as an HR, you need to get prepared supaya you punya HR practice become more relevant to organization. Okay, I have a feeling another 3 years, 5 years, management will look at HR in different perception. Dia tak nak tengok HR hanya buat kerja paperwork yang common. Alright, you need to use AI, you need to use kata apa, certain software dan sebagainya. Right. The second thing is that the second HR best practice, how do you leverage generation
Are you
diversity?
moving your screen? Because the slide is not moving. It's at the 4
No,
button.
no. I don't move the slide yet. Okay, I haven't moved the slide yet. Okay, so again, we're talking about this so-called, all right, this what we call it as apa tadi, diversity generation. How do you leverage? Bagaimana anda memanfaatkan? Because different generation comes with different so-called apa characteristic, and each particular characteristic they have what they call it as the what you call it, the strength and weaknesses. Okay. Then the third one, just now tadi before we break for morning break, we touch in terms of the streamline kita punya selecting and hiring people. Streamline meaning that, okay, as I mentioned earlier, we had a pool of good candidate at the market. A pool tu maksudnya ada ramai. We're talking about 400,000 jobless. Some of them came from big companies, well experienced. It's just a matter of how do you need to attract those people to apply for a job in your organization. Bagaimana kita nak menarik minat mereka to apply so that you only select good candidate. So in order for you to select good candidate, you kena tukar cara you punya so-called selecting and hiring. Number one, okay, increase you punya standard. Number two, okay, jangan terikat dengan cara lama interview. Right, cara lama means that, you know, the way you conduct interview, you kena, orang kata, think outside the box. Kena guna pelbagai cara untuk, orang kata apa, gunakan, orang kata, interview. Termasuklah, alright, using certain new methodology. Bagi mereka case study ke, bagi mereka certain short project. Let's see how do they so-called go apa how do they handle those particular project okay, to convince yourself and to convince your management that candidate is very good. Nak meyakinkan pada anda dan juga management bahawa candidate tu bagus. Alright, kerana tu dia kata you kena gunakan cara yang berbeza, thinking outside the box. Okay, that is getting. Third, we're talking about either you're using competency based interview ataupun behavioral interview technique. Okay, jangan menggunakan orang kata apa, a general approach dalam interview. Okay, maksudnya bila you bertanya soalan, jangan tanya soalan yang biasa-biasa. Bila you tanya jawab soalan yang biasa-biasa, mereka ni, candidate ni mereka very smart. Mereka akan guna AI dan mereka akan tanya AI. Kalau soalan macam ni macam mana nak jawab? Soalan macam ni macam mana nak jawab? So what they did is that they akan memorize that script. Alright, mereka akan menghafal that script. So in order to avoid that, mengelakkan daripada anda terperangkap dengan situasi ni, you punya soalan lebih fokus kepada kompetensi, KSA tadi. Knowledge, skill and attitude. In most occasion, I kata interview panel ada 3 orang. You bagi-bagilah. HR focus on attitude, maybe the first manager focus on the knowledge, another focus on skill, for example. Okay, ataupun you focus on behavioral interview technique, whichever lah. Tapi selalunya lately ni yang jadi trending ialah competency based interview. Alright, whereby whatever question you throw to the candidate, you are using a specific question. Okay, so itu akan banyak membantu anda dari segi selecting a very, very good candidate. Okay. Now, let's move on towards another one. Yang keempat ni, yang keempat ni kita pasal sorry. But before we go yang keempat ni, alright, I would like to do a simple energizer activities. Kita nak buat sedikit energizer. Tadi kita break for 15 minutes. Alright, jadi kita nak get back balik the momentum, seronok belajar. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you one short video. Again, this is just energizer, just ice breaking. Dalam video ni, kalau anda lihat, ada seorang detektif yang baju kelabu tu is doing some investigation. Okay, whereby one victim, seorang mangsa, has been killed, telah dibunuh. Alright, so I don't want you to focus much on the conversation and so on. Alright, I would like you to focus sepanjang video ini dimainkan. Are you able to detect, boleh tak anda kenal pasti beberapa perubahan dalam video berkenaan? Okay, saya mainkan video ni just orang kata ice breaking ataupun energizer, sebab tadi kita berhenti agak lama, 15 minutes for tea break. Kita nak get back the momentum of learning. Okay, so dalam video ni mengisahkan seorang detektif sedang menyiasat seorang lelaki being killed, dibunuh. So don't focus too much on the conversation, on the dialogue, tapi perhatikan sepanjang video ini dimainkan, adakah you are able to nampak tak beberapa perubahan yang berlaku dalam video berkenaan. Okay, if you are ready, okay, let's focus. Alright, let me show you this video there.
Clearly, somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
Why, I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
But how did you know?
Madam, as any horticulturist will tell you, one does not plant petunias until May is out. Take her away.
Sorry, madam.
It's just a matter of observation. The real question is, how observant were you?
The real question is, how observant were you? Anda nampak tak beberapa perubahan yang berlaku dalam video berkenaan? Okay, sepanjang video itu dia mainkan. Okay, siapa yang tak berapa clear, okay, let me play it again. Saya mainkan semula sekali lagi dan cuba perhatikan ataupun cuba identify those changes whatever changes yang you boleh nampak. Ingat, don't being influenced by the dialogue ataupun conversation yang berlaku dalam video tu, tapi you fokus bila video ini dimainkan, apakah antara perubahan di persekitaran video tersebut, okay, yang you dapat lihat ianya berlaku. Saya mainkan sekali lagi. Kalau ready, here we go.
Clearly, somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
Why, I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
But how did you know?
Madam, as any horticulturist will tell you, one does not plant petunias until May is out. Take her away.
That's right, madam.
It's just a matter of observation. The real question is, how observant were you?
Okay, saya buktikan di sini. Saya tengok dekat chat box dulu. Okay, dalam chat box ni ada yang kata, okay, let me see ya. Ada yang kata deaf person, betul, deaf person betul. Ada yang kata bear turn to robot, betul. Okay, apa tu, ada yang kata the bear is gone, betul. Good. Lagi, apa lagi? Ada lagi tak? Okay, bear turn to robot, betul. Patung tu sebelum tu beruang, betul. Very good. Okay. Alright, apa lagi yang you nampak perubahan yang berlaku? Ada yang kata inspector change the coat color, betul. Tadi dia pakai grey, sekarang dah jadi yellow. Very good. Vast. Ada yang kata, ya, the dead person wear spectacles. Okay, very good, Aina. Tapi dia bukan hanya the dead person, malah bukan dia hanya wear spectacle. Orang kata apa, mayat tu memang dah bertukar, bukan hanya spec saja. Very good. Okay, the dead person look different. Yeah, you are right, Andy. Betul. The dead person look different. Dia sebab dia bertukar orang. Okay, bag gone, vase change to other pattern of vase. Betul. True. Very good. Now, okay, kalau based on your feedback, I think tak sampai 10 pun yang you dapat kenal pasti perubahan berkenaan. But however, congratulations for those who have a sharp eyes. Let me share with you, sebenarnya dia ada 21 perubahan. 21 changes. Let's watch. Saya sambung. 21 changes. So what are those 21 changes? Let's watch.
Clearly, somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts and precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
Alright.
I was
Kot baju
polishing
detektif
the brass
bertukar,
in the
a
master
new
bedroom.
victim masuk,
I was
new
buttering his
plot
lordship's
masuk.
scones below
Right.
stairs, sir.
Why, I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
Okay, good. Alright, dalam this particular so-called video, even though it is energizer ataupun ice breaking, being an HR, we need to be very, orang kata apa, alert. Alright, with the environment that happen in our organization and as well as within the industry. Maknanya, being an HR, lagi lama you berada dalam HR, okay, you kena alert, okay, what are those different? Kerana tu, normally you being encouraged to attend a lot of training, a lot of conferences, alright, sama ada organized by certain training providers ataupun organized by so-called HRD Corp, example. In fact, like this one, what you call it, National Training Week, is very, very useful. Okay, from this National Training Week, you boleh attend a lot of training secara percuma, but then at the same time, you mulai realize, ada ya this kind of things in the market? Ada ya this kind of practice in HR? You start comparing. Because nowadays I find out that, most of the training, they are bringing new ideas, new knowledge, new approach. Sama ada, I give you a simple example lah, macam orang kata apa, mental wellness, sexual harassment. This is quite new, right? Emotional intelligence, this is quite new. Even communication pun, they come up with different types of communication. So grab this opportunity. But in order for you to grab, this is where you need to identify what are those new changes happen in the market that, you know, encourage you to be different compared to those what we call it conventional HR practitioners. Okay, the fourth best practices. Empat, orang kata amalan HR terbaik ialah you need to consider seriously in implementing talent management, pengurusan bakat. Okay, talent management is the full scope of HR process to attract, develop, motivate, retain high performance employees. Dia ada 4 elemen tu. First, you need to attract. Attract ni yang tadi kita kaitkan dengan what we call it, you have to increase atau you have to streamline you punya selection and hiring. Alright, you need to change you punya interview method. You need to increase you punya standard. The reasons that you need to attract. Alright, the moment they come in to your organization, you kena aktif dalam you punya training. You need to develop these people to certain standard. Alright, you tak boleh buat training sekali-sekali. Alright, that is why you came across nowadays some company dia ada training KPI. Alright, dalam training KPI dia growth their people, they develop their people. At the same time, alright, you get all the people to be engaged. Penglibatan. Why? Because you nak motivate them. Because when people have motivate, they are able to perform effectively in your organization. They are able to stay in your organization. And this is where it helps you to retain. Bagaimana kita nak kekalkan high performing employees. Nowadays, another cabaran dalam human resource itu bagaimana nak retain. Alright, because number one, the new generation, especially Gen Z and Generation Alpha, mereka ni cepat boring, cepat bosan. If the company could not come up with certain attractive ataupun challenges environment, within 1 to 2 years, you akan hilang banyak potential candidate. So cara mana untuk kekalkan high performing employees ni lah, get them to get involved in whatever kata company punya engagement activities. Okay, kejap lagi kita akan masuk salah satu the element engagement. Okay, so again, start introducing atau start implement talent management in your organization. Pengurusan bakat. Okay, so let me share with you this particular video to give you an idea what is talent management is all about.
Take a step back and experience talent management from a new perspective. Big picture talent management. Discover just how easy it can be to align your workforce with your business strategy and deliver superior results. Today's leaders know that a top-performing workforce can drive higher returns and offer a sustainable competitive advantage. They also know that having an engaged workforce that is fully aligned with their core business strategies is key. However, it's difficult to align your workforce with your business strategy when your talent management programs themselves are not working together in a coordinated, cohesive way. In fact, it's nearly impossible when they operate in silos and are supported by tactical standalone tools. To effectively align your workforce and deliver on your business initiatives, the leaders of your various talent programs need to operate in one coordinated system. When all your talent programs are streamlined and driven from the same system, a system that was purpose-built to drive better business results, aligning your workforce and delivering on your strategy is easy. Imagine every employee having their own personalized homepage, where all their tasks related to learning and development, compensation, performance, succession, and more are easily managed. Your employees would have just one simple-to-use system to learn, so they'd actually use it. Better yet, imagine this same system keeping your organization's goals aligned, cascading corporate objectives down to divisions, departments, and employees, so everyone at all levels know what's expected of them and how they're helping your organization succeed. Your employees would feel more connected, and you'd get the results you were looking for. Imagine every manager in every division creating job descriptions that always embody your culture and values. And imagine these same job descriptions that capture your culture and values automatically generating job requisitions that help you attract and screen the new hires your organization wants. You'd always get the right kind of people on your team. And when you do find the right person, imagine a recruiting system that automatically assigns the appropriate onboarding tasks, learning activities, and reviews for that new hire. Your new employees would always get off to a great start. Imagine if you could evaluate employee performance, set goals, gather 360 feedback, enroll employees in proven development programs, and collect succession planning information in just one simple process. You'd have employees, managers, and talent program leaders with more time on their hands, not to mention a better understanding of how all these things are connected. And wouldn't it be nice if compensation adjustments were based on performance, the attainment of goals and professional development activities, and any other criteria or guidelines you want to enforce? And if managers had full information about each employee at their fingertips when making compensation changes, your employees would know their compensation is fair and reflects their true value. In fact, imagine having just one place to go to get a complete history of all your employees, starting with the data gathered during the hiring process, all the way through to their performance, learning, career development, and their compensation history. Imagine creating employee profiles that provide deeper insight into your workforce and let you gather and search on any type of employee info, compare attributes, connect, and collaborate. Imagine being able to use your employee data in this one system to easily identify, groom, and retain your top performers. You'd make better talent decisions. When you use a talent management system, the only system built from the ground up to drive higher performance, it's easy to build a world-class workforce that is aligned and delivering on your business strategy. Experience talent management from a new perspective. Big picture talent management. Align your workforce with your...
Alright, with this video, give you some indicators ataupun some ideas. How does those talent management being implemented in a certain organization? And in order for you to implement talent management, kalau you tengok dalam video tadi, okay, you might need to use AI to assist you, alright, or you might need to use ChatGPT to assist you, right? Talking about system being developed by internal IT department in your organization. But certain system, you can just use a simple system by using AI or by using ChatGPT to help you to develop certain so that particular system to help you to monitor the progress, the status of every particular employee in your organization. Again, remember, talent management ni ada 5 component important, which I'm going to explain to you later. All right, you start by hiring, and then you start develop, then you start in terms of motivate, and then you start retaining and so on. Okay, so the full scope HR process, talent management actually juga sebahagian daripada HR process. A set of HR process that integrate with each other. Integrate maknanya relates from the hiring until retaining. They integrate with each other. This is where you need to sit down, right? You need to have to evaluate you punya hiring process. You need to evaluate your training process. You need to develop in terms of engagement process. You kena go through satu demi satu proses tu. Whichever process yang tengok ada kelemahan, then you improve. Or whichever process that you think that you need to put some additional information, then you go ahead with that. Again, start by attract, develop, motivate, and retain. This is not a comprehensive list. Certain organization, even they tambah, selain daripada attract, develop, motivate, and retain, mereka tambah dengan perkara lain. So, talent management touch all key HRs from hiring, employee onboarding, mereka mula masuk bekerja, and from performance management, sampailah ke peringkat retention. You kena ada this particular package if order for you to build up the talent strategy ataupun strategi pengurusan bakat. Okay. Now, high performance employees, the purpose of talent management to increase performance, nak meningkatkan prestasi. It aim to motivate, engage and retain employee to make them perform better. Alright, because you have to bear in mind, those employee that join your company, bukan semuanya falls under the category of high talented people. There are certain people in your company ataupun mereka yang masuk join your company, they just average in terms of performance. This is where you need to motivate them, you need to engage. Engagement that ada keterlibatan mereka in any project, any activities. And then the most challenges part is that you dah motivate, you dah train, you dah engage. The last part, bagaimana you have to find ways to retain that so that mereka ni tidak pergi kepada you punya competitors ataupun mereka just left the company, orang kata without, orang kata apa, you are able to capture their punya knowledge. So this is why the importance of talent management is so significant. Ini antara trending terbaru whereby kebanyakan organisation mereka really focus on talent management. So when it done right, companies can build a sustainable competitive advantage. Jika talent management dilakukan dengan betul, you are able to sustain daya saing. Daya saing dekat mana-mana organisasi akan menjadi lebih mudah lah. Alright, akan menjadi lebih mudah dan lebih selesa. Okay, and outperform the competition through an integrated system of talent management practice that are hard to copy. So yang menjadikan certain company itu difficult, alright, to compete ialah tentang talent management itself. Saya okay. Saya skip ni dulu, saya admit. Okay, alright. Now, why talent management is important? Kenapa pengurusan bakat ni amat penting when come to HR best practices? Okay, as I mentioned just now, pertama you nak attract top talent. Alright, during your selection, you nak attract top talent. So having a strategic talent management give organization the opportunity to attract the most talented. Remember just now I did mention to you, we have about 400,000 people jobless. Out of 400,000, 60% came from those company yang closed down. Syarikat yang tutup. Banyak. Dan these people is a very, very good people. So, sayang, then you are thinking of attracting them. So, in order for you to attract top talent ni, ni kena a proper strategy lah, especially on hiring strategy and so on. Kerana itu dia kata having a strategic talent management give organization the opportunity to attract the most talented and skilled employee available. It create an employer brand that could attract potential talents. And in terms of contribution, the improvement of the organization, business performance and results. So the moment you make it as a culture, whereby in your organization, you seriously involved in talent management, indirectly, you create that branding. All right, you create that branding. So whenever you advertise any position, you can share you punya so-called branding culture to the public, saying that your company is very serious in developing talent management of every particular employee in your organization. Next, talent management help in terms of employee motivation. So having a strategic talent management help organization to keep their employees motivated. Why? Because most of the employee in your organization, mereka nampak mereka punya career path, right? Meaning that they are not going to stay at that particular position, that particular salary, that particular job function for a longer period. definitely in between you are going to provide them with growth opportunity. Mereka boleh dibangunkan, mereka boleh dikembangkan. And with that, normally people will feel motivated. Once they feel motivated, right, what they're going to do, they are able to participate in every project, every decision. Then you can see the result will be very tremendously change the organization as well. Okay, so it helps in terms of employee motivation. Next, why talent management is very important to certain organization? Because of continuous coverage of critical roles. Okay, normally we relate this talent management together with succession planning. Okay, pengurusan bakat dengan orang kata perancangan penggantian, succession planning. Because in your organization, definitely there will be a lot of critical roles, peranan-peranan penting ataupun jawatan-jawatan penting. So talent management equip company with the tasks that required critical skill to plan and addresses the importance of highly specialized role in the workplace to its employees. In the other words, by practicing ataupun implementing talent management, you like to make sure that whoever falls under the category of critical roles, so they are able to assist you whenever comes to orang kata that particular position being vacant, jawatan itu dikosongkan, sama ada the previous guy left the company due to orang kata promotion ke whatever it is, at least there's some backup. So backup can only be implemented the moment you implement talent management. So this means that the company will have a continuous flow of employees to fill critical roles. Pernah tak you berhadapan situasi one particular critical roles been vacant, maknanya ia dikosongkan, might probably because of jawatan tersebut, somebody yang hold that jawatan tu being left the company, mungkin dia dapat better offer, and you have difficulties to look for internal potential candidate to replace. Maknanya anda berhadapan dengan cabaran untuk cari siapakah orang dalam yang boleh menggantikan tempat dia. Alright, some of you might came across that. End up apa berlaku? End up that you find out that there is no internal potential candidate, then you advertise for external potential candidate. Tapi in future, the moment you seriously get involved with talent management, implement in your organization, you might not facing that situation anymore. Maknanya bila ada certain position yang dikosongkan due to whatever reason, you have a line of people, barisan orang kata pekerja yang are able to continue, they are able to be a successor, dia boleh jadi pengganti, continue that particular position. This is why talent management is very important. Next, it relates to performance. Why talent management is important? Because it increases employee performance. The use of talent management will make it easier for the company to identify which employees will be best suited for a job that can lead to the less performance management issue and grievances. Selalunya yang ini kita melihat kepada succession planning tadi. Alright, kita ada perancangan penggantian successor. So kita build talent management. So the moment all this candidate kita bagi mereka training, kita build. So slowly kita get them ready to be a successor. So the moment any of these critical key position being vacant, dikosongkan, so these people are ready to take over that particular job. Because why? Because you already increase dia punya performance during this talent management activities. Yang paling penting adalah engage employees, keterlibatan. As I mentioned, one bigger challenges dealing with Gen Y, Gen Z, and Generation Alpha, mereka ni cepat bosan. Whenever there is a job, especially routine job, alright, mereka akan cepat mencari kerja yang ada new challenges. So bila you get people, you buat talent management, you get people keep on engaged with new project, new assignment, orang kata apa, whatever it is lah. So employees become very engaged, dia akan terlibat sama. So secara tak langsung, it helps you punya talent management activities in your organization. Alright, so meaning that why talent management important is that by practicing talent management, you dapat menggalakkan setiap pekerja at every level engage with one another in your organization. And the last part is that how we retain top talent. And macam saya katakan tadi, sometimes they being pinched by competitors. Sometimes they got another offer, alright, by another job, whatever it is, right? So bila you build up a good talent management, alright, secara tak langsung, whatever talent management activities to membantu you to retain top talent. So mereka tidak akan meninggalkan syarikat. Okay, then you are able to have a pool of talented people in your organization. In the other way around, by doing so, it improve a lot of in terms of business performance ataupun operational performance. So talent management help employees feel engaged, skilled, motivated, allowing them to work in the direction of the company business goal, which in turn increase client satisfaction and business performance. So bila you practice talent management actively, you not focus in terms of the what you call it, the business performance by itself. You also juga focus in terms of the client expectation ataupun client satisfaction and so on. Yeah, there you are, higher client satisfaction, because we deal with we provide certain services to our client. So if you practice talent management, you give a message to your client that you are serious in terms of satisfying their needs, right? So a systematic approach to talent management means that there is an organizational integration and consistent approach to management. Right, so meaning that you really care about the so-called client satisfaction and so on. Okay, so successful organization like Apple, Google, what else? Facebook, Tesla. Okay, all these people, they really spend effort dalam apa yang dipanggil talent management, because they believe the moment they have what you call it, implemented this talent management in organization, this is where they have developed a strong culture and ideology to attract a workforce that doesn't just work for a paycheck, doesn't work just for a salary, but they work because of they believe ataupun they being motivated to orang kata apa, get participate actively in the organization. Ini contoh what we call it talent management model practiced by certain organization. Dia bermula daripada planning, lepas tu you attract, and then you develop, and then you retain, and then you transition. Okay, planning in terms of understand business strategy, measure, evaluate the workforce plan. How maknanya you melihat you punya manpower, human resource yang you ada sekarang ni, kat mana status mereka. Alright, so if you want to develop a talented apa dipanggil employees, what are the gaps, apa antara jurang. From there you work out orang kata the attracting part, the recruitment part. So meaning that whenever the certain job being orang kata apa vacant, dikosongkan, alright, then you want to replace, make sure that you hire a high talented people. So to do that, just now kita dah tekankan tentang you increase you punya standard, selecting standard and so on. You streamline you punya so-called hiring and selection. And then the moment these people join ataupun mereka dah mula masuk dalam your organization, this is where you start develop. Starting from onboarding lagi, you start develop. Lepas tu dia punya performance management, okay, dia punya training and development, dia punya career path, dia punya capability, you start develop. Maknanya you are quite active. And then those training that you're going to organize, you prioritize based on the business need. Okay, and then the same time, you find ways how to retain those people by using these engagement activities. Okay, and finally, okay, this is where transition means that the moment you have a pool of talented people, that is where you support ataupun you supply to your so-called as a part of succession planning. Okay, in your organization, in order for to deal with those people who are retired, those people who leave your company with whatever reason, at least you have a backup orang kata apa, human resource. Again, succession planning and talent management is very closely related. Okay, normally succession planning ni ataupun what we call it as penggantian, perancangan penggantian. You need to identify, okay, which are certain position in your organization have difficulties in hiring, right? So that it helps you when come to apa dipanggil recruitment later on. Okay, so succession planning basically, okay, what is succession planning? Is the process of training, preparing employees in the organization so that there will always be someone to replace an employee who leave. Maknanya bagaimana you melatih dan menyediakan pekerja dalam organisation supaya mereka bersedia untuk menggantikan pekerja lain yang mengosongkan, especially critical position yang you have certain difficulties untuk hiring. In the other words, the continual business of monitoring and development the internal talent. Maknanya you nak memastikan ataupun you nak memantau perjalanan perniagaan tu berterusan dengan lancar. Maknanya whoever leave the company, dia tidak mengganggu operasi you. That is why you come up with the succession planning. And as I mentioned just now, perancangan pergantian ataupun succession planning ni dengan talent management is very close. Dia saling support antara satu sama lain. Okay, let share you this apa kata another video from if I'm not mistaken Nestle, yeah. How Nestle share dia punya pengalaman dari segi orang kata talent acquisition. Bagaimana mereka memanfaatkan orang kata bakat untuk setiap pekerja mereka. Let's watch.
There's a huge opportunity for talent acquisition to really maximize the impact for the business. LinkedIn can really help us to get there. I'm Ben Clark, Head of Corporate Resourcing at Nestle. Nestle obviously is a major consumer goods company, and we have a lot of challenges in the marketplace. Everything from changing customer preferences to commodity prices. It can be quite volatile at times, and we are faced with a lot of uncertainty. Talent acquisition, of course, then becomes critical to make sure that we're assessing the right people and we're bringing the right people with the right skill sets and cultural fit into the organization. Nestle is a very decentralized organization. Each market that we have has autonomy over executing talent acquisition on a local level. My role here at the center is around corporate resourcing, which is enabling the markets to be as good as they can be. It's a lot about sharing best practice. It's a lot about providing thought leadership and innovative ideas and working with the corporate teams here to make sure that they understand the trends and activities within talent acquisition so that we can be best in class. We're on a journey at Nestle to move from recruitment to talent acquisition. It's a long journey, but we're taking the first few steps and we're very ambitious about where we're going to go in the future. This is very much about moving away from operational, reactive recruitment, very back office function, and moving really towards a much more value-added, visible talent acquisition function. Proactive recruitment is about really thinking forward, thinking 2 steps beyond the current situation. What will the business need in a year from now? What does the business need that it doesn't have today? And working very closely with the hiring manager to make sure that we find that particular need. And with this, you get a huge impact on various KPIs and metrics, time to hire, cost per hire, quality of hire, you all see a move in a positive direction. LinkedIn is critical for success. It really opens up all of the doors towards accessing talent that previously we wouldn't have been able to. If we work in a proactive way to source talent strategically, then we have to have that access, and working with LinkedIn really enables us to do that.
Right, so in this video, you just share that how certain big multinational company, they are seriously implement the talent management to make sure that, number one, they are able to increase the number of talented people in their organization so that it become a good culture. Meaning that ramai pekerja dalam organization dia terdiri daripada talented people. Tapi as I mentioned just now, in order for you to build that culture, you kena start daripada hiring. So bila nak start daripada hiring, you kena increase you punya standard of orang kata selection. You tak boleh menggunakan orang kata apa interview style yang biasa-biasa. Because kalau you guna interview style yang biasa-biasa, you akan dapat candidate yang biasa-biasa. But the moment you change, you use orang kata high standard of orang kata apa interviewing skill, definitely you are able to attract orang kata apa good talented people. Okay, so that's number one. All right, and then the moment you bring them in, all right, you need to apa orang kata apa develop. Okay, you cannot just bring them in, but then you tak buat apa yang dipanggil training. You need to keep on develop. Training should be continuously going on. Alright, daripada mereka mula onboarding sampailah mereka retired. So they have to get involved in this training. You need to prioritize your training. Prioritize mean that pilih latihan-latihan yang really focus on talent, build up the talented people in your organization. Okay, so again, okay, you develop, you involve dalam apa orang kata apa growth, the employees growth. Okay, you have to develop them. Third, you come up with this lot of apa dipanggil motivation by get them engaged. Okay, dalam jadikan mereka terlibat dalam your organization, right? And then orang kata apa motivate them. Alright, give them new project, apa tukar-tukar mereka. Yang keempat ialah whereby you do some transition. Yang keempat adalah how to retain them. How to retain them so that you tidak kehilangan those people yang you dah build up earlier. You dah spend a lot of money, you invest towards them in terms of training and so on. Then your last part is that how you going to retain them, because inilah kata apa people that later on is going to be your successor. Mereka akan jadi pengganti for those orang kata critical position. So you nampak tak bagaimana talent management ni is very very important to the orang kata apa latest HR requirement. So now yang kelima, we are talking about build an inclusive company culture. Alright, membudayakan kata apa organization tu dengan keadaan yang terkini. Okay, now let's move on. What does it mean by build inclusive company culture? Remember to provide feedback. New generation, generation Z and generation Y, they really appreciate and seek for feedback. All right, so giving feedback often and making a positive shows your commitment to team members. So meaning that in your organization, anda kena membudayakan feedback. All right, dalam bahasa media sosial, feedback merujuk kepada viral. You tengok young generation sekarang ni sikit-sikit selfie viral, sikit-sikit selfie viral, right? Sebenarnya viral tu adalah sebahagian daripada feedback. Itu bahasa media sosial. Tapi bahasa dalam communication, we call it as feedback. Right? Young generation, they like feedback. They appreciate feedback. So you have to make it as a culture. Galakkan managers, HOD, executive to sentiasa provide regular feedback to their team members. Gen X Mungkin mereka tak suka feedbacks because during mereka punya working time, there is no such thing of providing feedback culture. Tapi they have to suit themselves. Maknanya mereka kena menyesuaikan keadaan. Okay, mereka kena menyesuaikan keadaan berdasarkan kepada the current environment. Okay, yang pertama, remember this. Remember to provide feedback. Alright, encourage you punya staff to speak up. Right, voice out. Okay, whatever they are not happy, because young generation, especially Gen Y and Gen Z, they are very vocal, they are very transparent. Mereka ni agak lantang, mereka agak transparent, and because of that, you kena tukar culture you. Kalau you limit, meaning that you cuba sekat mereka daripada provide feedback, believe me, you're going to lose some of talented people. Kalau anda tak membudayakan feedback ni, mereka akan cari peluang pekerjaan yang di mana organisation menghargai feedback. Jadi you kena slowly develop this kind of culture. Beritahu management yang generation punya trend memang macam tu. Right? Kaitkan dengan dengan viral. Because viral dengan feedback adalah benda yang sama. Cuma viral dalam bentuk media sosial, feedback dalam bentuk communication. So again, giving feedback, often making a positive, shows your commitment to team members' success and prove your dedication to help them grow. Find opportunity beyond official review to encourage successful growth in those you leads. Okay, itu yang pertama dalam nak bina budaya ni, inclusion culture ni. Okay, second, be your team voice. Promote your team to others, including executive leaders, by speaking out about their concern, sharing praise about their accomplishment, and leaders can prove a commitment to their team and position by acting as a license in the key communication. Meaning that, right, sama juga dengan feedback tadi. Okay, you need to address whatever become a concern to your team members. Okay, you need to address that. Okay, what is your team voice? What actually concern them? Okay, and then again, as I mentioned, sharing praise ni is a part of feedback lah. Kalau mereka buat bagus, appreciate that. Okay, praise them. Kalau mereka buat tak bagus, provide apa yang dipanggil constructive punya input ataupun decision. So at least you punya feedback tu agak balance. Ada negative feedback, ada positive feedback. Cuma yang kadang-kadang berlaku, some company they focus too much on negative feedback and they less focus on positive feedback. It should be balanced. Okay. The third one, important to establish an open, trusting relationship with them. When I said that establish an open, trusting relationship ni, it should be transparent within organization, within management, and lower level. So having a baseline of trust will help set the tone of your future conversation and will both help you deliver your feedback and help them accept. Kalau dulu, alright, during my time, Gen X, okay, my time is Gen X. Kita punya communication bottom down, right? Down, bottom. Very structured. But nowadays, Gen Y and Gen Z, they don't have such structured communication. They can communicate everywhere. Alright, meaning that their communication tu tak ada sekatan. They can communicate with GM, they can without certain limitation. Dulu zaman saya, if you want to communicate with GM, you have to pass your message to the supervisor. Supervisor pass the message to managers. Managers pass the message to the GM and so on. Tapi nowadays no more. Because why? Because they are quite transparent. So build up this kind of culture. Alright. Perhaps mereka yang Gen X ni mungkin have this kind of difficulties because mereka tak biasa dengan budaya ni. Tapi remember, in your organization now, you have full of Gen Y and Gen Z. And sooner or later, Generation Alpha is going to filling up certain position. Meaning that in your organization, sooner or later, you have a young generation. Okay, so young generation, they are quite transparent. Okay, they like what you call it, open and trusting relationship. Okay, So when giving constructive criticism, it is important to make sure that you're presenting a balanced perspective. Okay, meaning that when talking about feedback just now, you combine both positive and negative feedback. Don't assign meaning or intent to someone else's action until you had a chance to hear what they have to say. This is a matter of culture lah. Don't orang kata apa, react just based on assumption, alright, and then orang kata apa, whenever you want to present something, make sure you present issues as thing you're observing and give them the opportunity to explain, right? Increase the accountability of everyone, reduce or minimize the what we call it, the blaming culture. All right, because nowadays the young generation, they are quite positive. All right, they're quite positive in terms of orang kata apa, how do they communicate with each other. All right. Now, question number 6 ataupun the 6th best HR practices. Okay. Employee engagement. Okay, since just now I did keep on mention to everyone about employee engagement. Apa maksudnya employee engagement? Ini bukan engagement yang bertunang tu saja. Engagement ni ialah keterlibatan. Alright, keterlibatan. Employee engagement describe the level of enthusiasm and dedication of worker feels to the job. Bagaimana you meningkatkan apa dipanggil semangat pekerja tu melalui dedication so that mereka seronok bekerja. So employee engagement can be critical to a company success. Memang betul. Throughout my experience, company yang aktif dalam employee engagement, dia punya turnovernya, right? Turnover meaning that people who leave the company is very, very less. Very, very less. Because employee yang bekerja dengan syarikat tu, mereka akan merasakan susah nak cari engagement activities dekat tempat lain misalnya. Alright, so that is why HR, you need to play a serious role on become active. HR nak suka tak suka kena become aktif lah dalam apa kata employee engagement. You kena be creative, kena cari jalan bagaimana you nak menggalakkan engagement activities. So employee engagement activities are exercises that increase employee motivation. Hanya dengan aktif dalam employee engagement, dia membantu untuk motivate your so-called employees. Remember, number one, kita nak motivate those talented people so that they don't leave the company, they don't resign from the company. Alright, kerana ini penting about the employee engagement. Okay, so engaged employees often develop an emotional connection to their job. Selalunya pekerja yang aktif dari segi keterlibatan, mereka punya connection bukan hanya dalam bentuk fizikal terhadap kerja mereka, malah mereka punya connection involve emotional. Mereka hargai kerja mereka. Sebabnya pertamanya the culture in their department is very, very highly connected. Mereka hubungan mereka tu agak rapat. Alright, and not only on the job tapi juga on the company. Alright, bila mereka tengok company tu, mereka feel proud and will be focused on working towards the organization goal, dan mereka berusaha untuk membantu mana-mana organisasi. I bagi you contoh lah, you tengok antaranya macam Facebook, alright, bagi contoh macam Tesla. Kalau kat Malaysia ni, bagi contoh macam AirAsia, right, certain big companies yang practice very orang kata apa aktif dalam employees engagement. The way orang kata these people work towards the company goals so are very effective. So they know what is their role, what is their job entails and what they want to do. Mereka tahu apakah peranan mereka. They are loyal. Loyal ni maksudnya mereka setia with the employer and productive. Alright, because mereka tengok company ambil berat orang kata melakukan banyak aktiviti yang melibatkan mereka. They are motivated, motivasi mereka tinggi sebab mereka seronok datang bekerja. Mereka tahu every 3 months, every 6 months, every 1 year ada saja aktiviti yang being organized by the organization. Jadi dalam arti kata lain, Alright, organization don't only focus on activities that related to business only. Organization not focus activity on the operation only, tapi mereka buat banyak aktiviti-aktiviti lain which I'm going to explain to you later as part of engagement activities. An employee has strong desire to remain with organization. Maknanya kekuatan untuk semangat pekerja tu untuk kekal lama berada dalam organisasi amat bergantung kepada keterlibatan mereka dalam aktiviti-aktiviti yang dijalankan oleh organisasi. Contoh, ini contoh saya extract Tesla. Antaranya bagaimana Tesla menggalakkan budaya engagement ataupun keterlibatan. Dia kata kat sini, alarmed by the high number of injuries. Maknanya Tesla sedar banyak berlaku kecederaan dalam pengeluaran Fremont Car Assembly Plant. Kilang yang memasang kereta Fremont use more transparent communication as employee engagement strategies. Mereka menggunakan banyak kaedah komunikasi terbuka sebahagian daripada engagement strategi untuk membantu memperbaiki isu-isu yang berkaitan dengan keselamatan. Maknanya mereka tak ada hadkan batasan communicate open secara terbuka. To do this, the electric car makers co-founder CEO Elon Musk who told employees they are wanted every injuries reported to him. Sampai peringkat tu dia kata, setiap kecederaan tolong laporkan pada saya, kata Elon Musk. Sebab Elon Musk dia kata dia tak nak sekat. Sebab setengah-setengahnya bila ada kecederaan mereka cuba sembunyikan. Alright, mereka sekat. Tapi dalam Tesla ni mereka membudayakan situasi sebab mereka menganggap itu sebahagian daripada activity engagement. Alright, so without exception, tanpa orang kata persekatan, mereka boleh bila-bila masa melaporkan apakah punca, apakah kelemahan, so that dia kata dia faham dan dia cuba bantu bagaimana untuk mengatasi apa yang dipanggil tadi kemalangan yang kerap berlaku dalam organisasi. Dan salah satu kaedahnya dia kata apa yang Elon Musk buat, dia bagi tugasan kepada production line, sesiapa yang orang kata cedera ataupun mereka mendapati ada peluang untuk orang kata penambahbaikan isu-isu yang berkaitan dengan keselamatan, alright, mereka menggalakkan keterlibatan secara orang kata ataupun inisiatif ni lah, mereka akan dapat menurunkan, reduce by more 50%. Orang kata dapat mengurangkan kadar yang dipanggil kecederaan ataupun kemalangan dalam organisasi. Right, so mereka buat perbandingan sampai macam tu akibat daripada penglibatan pekerja dan sebagainya. So ini antara contoh-contoh employee engagement activities yang anda boleh pertimbangkan supaya dia akan menjadikan suasana tempat kerja tu seronok, motivate. Yang pertama macam orang kata kadang-kadang ada setengah-setengah organisation dia buat movie marathon. Masuk movie marathon tu mereka ajak ramai-ramai pergi menonton wayang berdasarkan kepada cerita-cerita yang menarik kan. Lepas tu ada ketikanya mereka buat potluck lunch, mereka buat secara departmental, mereka buat potluck lunch, atau kadang-kadang mereka buat secara orang kata small unit. Alright, mereka buat orang kata outing dengan family members. Kadang-kadang mereka buat recognition program. Recognition program ni biasanya di hujung tahun lah mereka akan declare who are the best employees kan. Selalu kita tengok dalam orang kata fast food contohnya macam McD ke macam KFC, dia ada banyak recognition program. Macam orang kata what else fast food, Mary Brown kan, mereka gantung recognition program. Mereka tunjuk siapa staff yang orang kata bagus dan sebagainya. By doing so actually dia menaikkan motivasi. Okay, perhaps you may consider that. Okay, pekerja yang terbaik, pekerja secara bulanan, secara mingguan, secara tahunan, ataupun hosting contest. Maksudnya you buat beberapa pertandingan yang berkaitan dengan organisasi anda. Pertandingan office menarik, office bersih, 5S ke, pertandingan orang kata keceriaan ke, alright, whatever lah contest. Ada saya pernah jumpa macam if I'm not mistaken, Domino Pizza. Mereka buat pertandingan orang kata video pendek. Video tu boleh jadi tarian, boleh jadi sketsa, boleh jadi lawak jenaka, tapi dia ada tema dia. Dan mereka buat tiap-tiap minggu mereka bertanding dan hadiahnya mereka akan dibagikan pada annual dinner misalnya. So pertandingan-pertandingan ni akan menjadikan masing-masing terlibat secara aktif. Ataupun macam dia katakan do nothing day lah. Do nothing day tu maksudnya hari tu masing-masing berehat. Mereka sama ada mereka boleh buat cleaning ke, ataupun mereka boleh just duduk sambil tu orang kata apa, develop communication ke, ataupun some company dia buat allow pets in the office. Hari tu saja. Alright. Ataupun mereka ada sport event. Sport event ni macam futsal, bowling, badminton, ataupun mereka celebrate special event like birthday, anniversary, alright. Ataupun bila ada newcomers, alright, mereka celebrate newcomers. Ataupun healthy nap time. Okay. Ini antara contoh lah ya. Banyak lagi sebenarnya. Seantaranya macam ni kat ni, ni antara orang kata beberapa engagement activities. Employee recognition, learning and development ni merujuk kepada training. Celebrate live event ni macam saya kata tadi lah, birthday, anniversary. Social cause activities ni kalau some of you terlibat dengan CSR, bersihkan pantai, bersihkan rumah anak yatim, pergi rumah orang tua-tua. Knowledge sharing ni bila you buat orang kata apa, informal discussion ataupun informal training. Mana-mana pekerja yang pergi training balik mereka share something. Ataupun wellness activities yang berkaitan dengan orang kata apa, keseronokan, keceriaan, alright, encourage involvement and feedback. So banyak. So ini antara je. So perhaps okay, sudah sampai masanya we're talking about best HR practices. You need to actively alright involve dalam engagement in your organization. Sebab your intention is that try to maintain, try to motivate talented people in your organization supaya mereka tidak kata apa meninggalkan organisasi anda. Sayang because the moment you spend too much investment, you train people, you bagi mereka bonus, you bagi mereka increment, but end up mereka leave the company to your competitors atau mereka dapat special offer daripada company-company lain, adalah satu kerugian. So salah satu cara bagaimana kita nak kekalkan mereka dan mereka bermotivasi working with your organization is that by doing a lot of engagement activities. Dan dalam masa Jerman sama juga, as I mentioned tadi, salah satu daripada elemen of engagement ni ialah prioritize training and development. Okay, membuat keutamaan dalam latihan. Maknanya latihan ataupun kursus yang you akan kendalikan untuk your organization tu, you menyusun dari segi keutamaan. Alright, maknanya you sentiasa beri peluang untuk latihan, tapi latihan tu bukan latihan yang biasa-biasa. Latihan yang betul-betul fokus kepada KSA tadi. Knowledge, skills and attitude. Okay. Alright. Now, the last part, we go to the apa dipanggil flexible and adaptive working model. Ini sesuatu yang baru yang kita lihat menjadi fenomena dalam banyak organisasi nowadays. Okay, so the working world has evolved in recent years. Okay, with work from home and flexible working hours model, how some company nowadays they make it as a culture. You lihat selepas pandemik, selepas COVID-19, sebelum COVID-19, working from home hanya to certain country dan hanya to female employee, especially female employees under maternity. Tapi selepas COVID-19, right, selepas pandemic, they expand this working culture, new working culture, especially talking about working from home, to all male and female, and as well as to certain kata apa situation. In the other words, they put it as a flexible working environment. So as a result, it become increasingly important for employers to give their workforce an option to work from home. Okay, not only work from home, when we talk about flexible and adaptive working model, they can work from everywhere. Okay, they can work from everywhere. Now, let me share with you the flexible work arrangement in Singapore as an example, and they already started. Singapore already started. Countrywide. Okay, certain industry, I can say that most of them start implement in flexible work arrangement. Let's listen and see how can you propose to the management for future HR practices in your organization, or tiba-tiba you don't propose tapi management will instruct HR, please study in terms of flexible work arrangement. How can we practice in our organization? So let's watch and have an idea how it's good. How it's work.
This video about flexible work arrangements in Singapore is made by this producer who is currently given flexible work arrangements at his own workplace.
Hi, my name is Joe, and on Mondays I end work early. About lunchtime I will head home because I need to send my son for his therapy sessions. This is a flexible work arrangement, or FWA for short, that my bosses as well as the HR department have readily agreed to. But before you say, FWA, so good, Mondays can go early.
I've also agreed to start work 1 hour before everyone else at the office every morning to make up for the time away at the start of the week. Now, I thought this was like a unique circumstance for someone like me, but when my colleague told me, hey, there's this video we've been asked to do, flexible work arrangements, I realized there's actually quite a few different kinds of flexible work arrangements and wanted to find out more. Do flexible work arrangements actually work?
While I was trying to uncover what flexibility means, I met with Judith. She's from the Tripartite Alliance for Fair Employment Practices, or TAFEP for short, and I heard she has some answers for me about flexibility at work.
Okay, so thanks for coming all the way here. I understand you're here to talk to us a little bit about flexible work arrangements. So this is our flexibility studio, Flexibility, you get it?
I get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, first question for you, why are flexible work arrangements important?
So flexible work arrangements, or FWAs, actually have distinct benefits for both the employers and the employees. For employers, it helps them to keep their staff motivated and efficient because they can manage their responsibilities better on the personal front as well as career. Of course, having that kind of flexibility in the way that we work allows us to better integrate the different parts of our lives, right? So we can match our career goals with our personal goals as well.
What are some examples of flexible work arrangements?
Okay, so when we think about flexible work arrangements, everyone typically thinks about telecommuting or working from home, right, in this day and age. But in reality, there are so many permutations of flexible work arrangements. Really, when it comes to flexibility, the thing that we need to recognize is that there's no one-size-fits-all answer for organizations. So employers really need to find solutions that are creative and that meet the needs of their organizational goals as well as those of their employees.
I mean, I'm kind of like on a flexible work arrangement myself. What would one piece of advice be for me?
Have clear conversations with your manager. Speak more clearly and communicate more regularly with your manager when it comes to what your work-life needs are.
It was mentioned in Parliament that in 2021, over 9 in 10 employees worked in firms that provided at least one form of flexible work arrangement on a sustained basis. This is up from 7 in 10 employees in 2019. According to a study conducted by the Institute of Policy Studies in 2022, between 41% and 52% of workers felt that flexible work arrangements should be the new norm for workplaces in Singapore. So it's quite clear that a significant portion of employers in Singapore want to have flexible work arrangements. In fact, I hear that FWAs are going to be more commonplace once the impending tripartite guidelines kick in.
We will introduce a new set of tripartite guidelines on flexible work arrangements by 2024. The tripartite guidelines will prescribe fair and proper practices that employers should adopt, such as having a proper process to assess employees' requests for flexible work arrangements and communicate the outcome of such requests.
But beyond the statistics and what has been discussed, I thought to hear from fellow Singaporeans about flexible work arrangements and what they think about it, and if any of them have actually gone through these flexible work arrangements themselves, and if it's been useful.
I met with Joyce, who shared about how being able to work from home, one of the flexible work arrangements that her employer has adopted, has benefited her as a working mother.
Hi, my name is Joyce. So I'm a HR executive and I work at a Japanese company called Works Application Singapore. This is my 1-year-old son. His name is Lala. Hello! And he likes to play with my keyboard. We are able to start work more flexibly, but for me, because I have a baby and in between I will attend to baby, I work whenever I can. It means that I spend a lot of time with baby, then at night I will start to work. As an employee, we need to make sure that we don't purposefully shortchange the company. If you have work to do, I think it's your responsibility as an employee to make sure that you complete your work.
I believe the better environment, happy, motivated employees, members will lead to better output. If we don't have those, the better environment, happy employees, motivated employees, we cannot bring any good output.
I was able to be there for a lot of my babies first. The first time he rolled over, the first time he pushed up, the first time he stood up, the first time he talked. All these are very precious moments that would be difficult for me to experience in person if we were to put him in a daycare straight away.
Working from home is just one such flexible work arrangement. Next, I interview, myself about flexi work hours, another possible flexible work arrangement that employers can consider adopting. So, thank you for agreeing to this interview.
Yeah, no problem.
It feels like you are being in two places at once, right?
I guess that's what flexible work arrangements, give you.
So, some questions for you. What sort of flexible work arrangement are you on?
So the flexible work arrangements that I am currently on is considered flexible working hours. It's been very useful for me because I think first and foremost, someone needs to be there, to ferry my son to and fro. Being able to be present there with him helps quite a bit with my son's emotional needs as well. It supports the family in very big ways, actually.
So was it difficult to first ask for this arrangement?
Actually, I didn't know how my bosses would react because, it's essentially asking for time away. And on Mondays, usually what happens in our office is that it gets quite hectic because it's the start of the week. Everyone's coming in, making sure that we start the week right. So I think on a personal level, it was difficult to first broach the topic. So I think the only hurdle that I had to kind of cross was myself first. You don't want to take it for granted, and you don't want to seem like you are skiving, or putting other things above what your responsibilities are supposed to be at work.
So what are the barriers, you would say, for a working father like yourself to tap into some of these flexible work arrangements?
I think the barriers are more about trying to make sure that you are able to really draw healthy boundaries. It's easy to say that you can just put work away after you leave the office, but you're always constantly thinking about, oh no, is everything okay in the office? While you are trying to handle your son's needs at that moment in time. So I think those are certain barriers that I've had to slowly overcome and to tell myself that, I've already set in place certain systems, I've already communicated while I'm away. So, we just have to trust the arrangement and trust that your colleagues, your teammates, your leaders actually are there for you.
So in your opinion, how should companies and organizations better cater to fathers and customize flexible work arrangements for them?
Start conversations and maybe even initiate to ask questions about what needs fathers or parents have. I think for guys in general, we don't speak up as easily about some of the struggles and some of the needs that we have. So it's important to then create that safe space.
So how do you go from a father to a father? Okay, I know it's a dad joke, but I'm a dad, so I got license. I know there are a lot of fathers out there who probably are facing similar situations as I have. I hope that a lot of my sharing today and whatever that we have explored in this video can help to encourage you to see what the relevant choices are.
Alright, that particular video actually giving you some ideas. Okay, why lately the new flexible working arrangement become popular in most organizations. And sooner or later, let's say give another 3 to 5 years from now, I have a feeling that, you know, in most organizations, right, they're going to practice in such way. Let's explore further. But before that, let me see the chat box. Okay, see what other question that you have in the chat box. Okay, sekejap. Good. I receive a lot of question about flexible working arrangement. Okay, good. All right, Juliana, may I know, for those working in HR, are you giving the opportunity to choose for work from home? From home, asking, oh, thanks, okay. Henny kata FWA needed trust from company to employees as a transportation service provided our company not encourage. Yes, in the beginning, you might not encourage. All right, and I believe there are some company, because this is quite new. Okay, this is quite new. Tapi that's why I mentioned just now. Believe me, for the next 2 to 3 years, the thing will change. Okay, the thing will change, because the moment a lot of this new generation comes in, there might be a new demand. Mungkin makin ramai orang yang akan pertimbangkan, because it happens in Singapore already. Alright, so sooner or later that phenomena juga akan berlaku di Malaysia. Alright, so good, Henny, thank you for sharing. Alright, exactly, need trust, yes. Not only trust, Juliana, tapi dia memerlukan a specific mechanism. You have to creatively create rules and regulation and mechanism to control them. Bimbang, if you don't have a proper mechanism, oleh kerana benda ni sesuatu yang baru, it might end up some employee take advantage. All right, they take advantage, they abuse the situation. The Tenarasan said, my company practice flexible working hours on 8 AM to 10 AM. Oh, well, very good, very good. And then Nur Hikmah kata, wah, and the last working hours, what time after can go home? Still same. You can adjust, all right? As long as you go for total 45 hours per week, atau you can adjust for certain number of hours per day, right? In certain part of country, nowadays they don't go based on per day. They go based on per hours. Kalau 45 hours tu, there are some country I came across, you know, people share with me, they only work for 4 days, as long as they are able to fulfill 45 hours per week. All right, they work for 4 days and they have 3 days off. Right, already in our Act 1955. Yes, Tenarasan, recently, January, later on I will come back to this, and in our Act new. Employees should approve our request. Yes, it is not a matter of should. Sorry, it depends. It depends on kata apa, requirement, case to case basis. All right, you are right. As long as complete your 8+1 hours daily, yeah, you are right. Okay, my company practice flexible working hours 8 to 10 PM. Okay, very good. Some of you sharing the so-called practices. Okay, now, when creating an adaptive working model, okay, keep in mind that this arrangement isn't the best for all employees. Okay, some industry flexible working arrangement might not suitable. All right, even within the same organization, ada certain department you can allow for flexible working arrangement. Ada certain department you can't allow. It depends to orang kata case to case basis. If you decide offering continued work from home is right for your company, make sure your program has clear rule, clear mechanism, right, whereby you need to establish certain expectation and you have measures in place to track performance and remediate any issues that may arise. Because certain employees, they have, what you call it, they abuse, they become less professional, end up they take advantage. Itu yang kita takut. Surely, many still remember that hybrid work facility that was introduced in 2020 due to spread of COVID-19. At that time, the trend of work from home or work from home become the main solution choice for most companies. So recently, in Section 9C of the Work Act 1955, Amendment 2023, it is explained that for flexible working rules ataupun flexible working home was created to meet the current needs, and it is necessary condition such as to contain the spread of COVID-19, meaning that employee has a right to request. However, employer has a right whether to approve or not to approve. Doesn't mean bila dia request, it is a compulsory management to approve. It depends on kata apa, the environment, the nature of work, the nature of business, and so on. And Section 9C also explained that an employee can apply for any of these three forms of work from flexible working rules. Sama ada changing of working hours, ataupun changing of working days, ataupun changing of workplace, including work from home. One of the growing work trends in the country, this is another new trend that related to work from home. We call it as digital nomads. Especially with the introduction of a hybrid work system of flexible working rules, such as permission to work from home, which provide an independent work style. Sometimes it might not work from home, it can be somewhere else. Okay, for your knowledge, digital nomad is a style of working independently or remotely that is usually done in different locations. The key word is in different places and not fixed wherever you are. You can work in a coffee shop, library, your own car, you have internet access, and easy to say that you have a mobile hotspot ataupun laptop. All work can be done and no problem even you have not in the office. Okay, ini pun juga satu trend that related in flexible working rules ataupun flexible working arrangement. Alright. Digital nomad sekarang ni dah mula berlaku, dah mula berada di Malaysia, okay, whereby sometimes, okay, that particular employee being employed, but then they are not in Malaysia, probably they somewhere else overseas. Okay, they work from overseas, their own home. They only come to their office in Malaysia, might be quarterly basis or half yearly basis, whatever it is lah, with the certain arrangement. Okay, and not only that, the advantage of digital nomad, you know, number one, okay, it really increase work productivity level. Okay, exploring a new environment can actually help you to increase work motivation, especially if you have the opportunity to work a clean place surrounded by nature. And this indirectly gives employees psychological advantage by trying to complete tasks faster. Some of the, what you call it, people prefer to work in such arrangement. All right, they prefer to have a very nice place, environment surrounded with nature and so on. So since company practicing flexible working place, they do allow certain people, they can just work everywhere as long as there are certain rules and regulation they need to follow, or there are certain mechanism to make sure that this particular person, this particular employee are able to deliver according to the management expectation. Number two, easily stimulate ideas and mind. Working in different places every day can give you more opportunities to gain knowledge and experience. This indirectly stimulates your mind with variety of new exposure, facilities, the process of finding ideas, a fit body, move fast and think fast. All right, some certain level of employee ataupun certain nature of work function, they require this kind of approach. Okay, the third one, talking about work-life balance. I believe some of you have heard the terms of work-life balance. The main reason why the digital nomad trend is growing, because there is a public awareness of the importance of having a good work-life balance. And this digital nomad give advantage to employees, especially for those who are free to work anywhere, even at home. Right, as long as they are able to fulfill the KPI, they are able to fulfill the expectation and so on. All right, there are certain, again, it relates to the, the rules and regulation or the mechanism set by the so-called company in order to make sure that the employee delivered as per the expectation. The best part is that when you talk about work-life balance, you have more time for me time. When working a digital nomad style, you will have a lot of time for healing and thinking about yourself. Although you still have to do tasks, you still have a lot of me time to try to new skill compared to those who work in the office and are often monitored by the boss. All right, this is another advantage lah. We're talking about, when you talk about me time, you can explore some other things. Might be new skill, new thinking. All right, some even required to reduce what they call it, work pressure. All right, office conflicts, whatever, they like try to healing themselves. So they have a lot of what they call it, me time. All right, we have almost finished all those so-called 7 HR practices that's very crucial for you to implement with the current challenges. Okay, before that, let me open this particular so-called chat box, see what are those the questions that you have. Some flexi working was taken for granted. Yes, I agree with you, Siti Nazrina. Kind of difficult to handle work from arrangement, staff giving last minute notice saying, yeah, I understand that. Okay, that kind of problem. Tapi whether you like it or you don't like it, for next 3 to 5 years, this is going to be a phenomena. And that's why I kata HR need to get ready with this. All right, slowly you have to get ready. Get ready in terms of coming up with certain rules and regulation, coming up with certain SOP ataupun procedure. If let's say suddenly one of these days, okay, top management suddenly call HR and say, hey, we're going to implement this. This is where you remember that you attend this particular webinar, and then you already get ready slowly, mechanism by mechanism, so that the moment you want to implement, all right, you are not panic. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you, Sal. Okay, probably highway industry, okay, is impossible because that's why I mentioned certain industry might not necessarily suitable for this particular flexible working hours. All right, but certain industry, sometimes it can be industry, sometimes it can be department, sometimes it can be nature of work, so certain unit. Cuma what I'm trying to say here is that, by sharing this particular input, at least you notice that in the market nowadays, digital nomad, flexible working hours, flexible working day, flexible working space is already there. Yang maknanya dah ada di pasaran, di Malaysia dan sebagainya. It's just matter of time. Alright, jadi maknanya kalau ianya tiba-tiba management come up with certain decision, at least you know what you're supposed to do and how to go about it. Okay, you need to explore. Of course, you need to get sample because as I mentioned just now, akta dah meluluskan. Maknanya if employee request, they are allowed to request, but again, it depends to the employer punya approval. Employer has a right whether want to approve or not to approve. Pertamanya might be because of the nature of industry ataupun nature of work and so on. All right, I open for any question, please. Whether you want to share your question through chat box atau you want to share a question through just unmute yourself and then share your so-called question to me. Anybody?
So there's a question at the chat box.
Wait. Oh, very good. When the presence of AI tools such as ChatGPT, the role of digital nomad will be affected. Yes, yes. Ada certain implication lah. Alright, definitely. Okay, the moment you implement kata apa, AI and chat GPT, meaning that there are certain occasion you might not really require a digital nomad staff. Okay, it can be affected. Thank you, Gan. Yeah, you are right. Any other question?
Any other question, please? We still have time for questions.
Yeah. You're welcome. I will share my slide to Training Art, and Training Art will email to you those slides that I shared with you just now, except the videos, because one I include the videos is going to be very, very heavy. So I'm going to convert that become PDF, and I will share it with Training Art, and Training Art will share with all of you. Okay, those slides that I already shared just now for your own reference.
Thank you so much. Any more question, please? Any more question? Please utilize Haji Azmi's experience, and yeah. So that's a question.
I attended training earlier, and the speaker emphasized that in future the required skills are exposure to AI. Yes, I agree with Sal. Memang betul. Okay, you like it or you don't like it, start from now. Explore AI. Okay, start with AI. Doesn't mean every particular HR job you rely too much on AI, but AI make your job much more easier. Such as, I give simple example, you want to come up with the so-called policy and procedure on certain HR function. You want to develop employee handbook, but you don't know how. All right, so you can use AI. Okay, immediately you can use AI. AI will help you a lot. Even though you don't have to follow 100% from AI, but with AI, it gives you some indicators. It helps you. It guides you how to go about. All right, Ramya, how can we implement best practices to cope with the high turnover rate? Okay, I emphasize more on employee engagement. Employee engagement helps a lot. Employee engagement, satu lagi ialah talent management. These two things. Okay, employee engagement get your company very active. Okay, very active with apa kata. I share with you one particular company. Domino Pizza, for instance, okay. At one time, they also have high turnover, especially those riders. So I thought in the beginning, their challenges is with the Pizza Hut, but no, they said no. All right, actually, the punya difficult is that those people how to maintain, how to reduce the turnover. So what they did is that they do a lot of engagement activities, and because of that, they are able to minimize the turnover rate. Okay, perhaps you need to focus, number one is on the engagement activities. Banyakkan activity turnover, like orang kata apa, macam saya bagi contoh tadi lah, maybe you need to have karaoke session, you need to have sport session, futsal session, bowling session, you have a short orang kata apa, pot lunch ke, ataupun picnic ke, whatever it is lah. Alright, so then the same time, develop your people on this talent management. Whenever they feel being important to the organization, normally they won't leave the company. What are the most effective strategies for improving employees' engagement in diverse workforce? You need to do some research on this. Okay, you need to analyze. Basically, when you talk about strategies, okay, you might benchmarking certain companies in terms of what are those their so-called engagement, and you select which particular strategies that you think is quite suitable to your organization. As long as you actively involve, then it will be good enough. I give you a simple example. Okay, one particular company, every year they organize makan durian, within organization as part of their engagement. And I don't think it's quite suitable for certain industries. You just imagine kalau you make it in the factory, the whole factory, bau durian, for example, right? So that's why I kata not every particular so-called engagement suitable to certain industry. You need to benchmark, you need to select, and you need to do some study whether certain kata apa engagement activities tu suitable or not. But the moment, as I mentioned, the moment you active in the so-called engagement activities, the chances of reducing the turnover is very, very high. Okay, people will feel appreciate, people will enjoy working with your organization, and then they will think many times lah for them to leave the company and so on. For SME with limited budget, how can we retain talent in terms for non-financial factors? Okay, when talk about limited budget, you can still retain them using informal learning. Okay, informal learning doesn't require big budget. All right, such as orang kata apa, you come up with reading material, you come up with what you call it, short like high tea ataupun discussion punya session, whereby the most you spend money on refreshment, but you keep building up the what you call it apa sharing culture within organization, then indirectly you are able to maintain this orang kata, you're able to retain the talent in your organization without spending a lot of orang kata budget on that. Okay, some HR, they tend to ignore about this informal learning because they thought that informal learning don't give a big impact to the organization. Informal learning, from my past experience, because I did my master on knowledge management, so informal learning, dia punya impact is significant equal to formal learning. Cuma most of us, we don't really focus too much on informal learning, right? It is time for you to consider seriously organize a lot of informal learning. Macam tadi saya kata reading, right? Every week you can come up with reading material. Reading material, you can get it from internet, you get it from online newspaper, and then you circulate, encourage people to read, all right? Or just now, as I mentioned, sharing knowledge. For those who ever attend program, balik, mereka kena sharing knowledge. Or sometimes you get people who are quite senior, still working with your organization, mereka share knowledge. But when they share knowledge, don't put orang kata apa, too official lah. Meaning that they don't have to prepare slide, they don't have to stand in front doing public speaking. They can just do casually. Alright, as long as they are able to transfer knowledge. This is some example of what we call it informal learning. Banyak lagi sebenarnya. You can just Google in terms of informal learning, and it helps a lot. Right, any more question? Okay, if no question, Kalai, Aina, I pass it to you.
Okay, Ken, thank you. Since there's no
Welcome.
other question, I think we'll move on. So, Mr. Tenarasan and Ms. Gan, you already tackled the question, is it?
Yep.
Okay, Ken,
Yes.
thank you. So, all the question has been answered, yeah? Thank you so much, Azmi. Okay,
Welcome.
before we close the session, can I please get everyone to on your video so that we can take a group photo together? Really appreciate if everyone can share, on your video.
Kita nak ambil group photo with everybody.
Yes, for memory. Thank you. Fasila, can you take the cue? Can. Now. Please stay on with us. I got some last words to say. Yeah, we take group photo first. Yeah, Fasila.
1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. Freestyle. 1, 2, 3. Okay, done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Haji Azmi, for the
Thank you. Thank
informative
you.
and
All right.
valuable learning.
All right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
let me just give you all some okay, we really hope that you all learn a lot just now. So to everyone here, if you have any question, you can actually send us a query. Yeah, we'll copy paste our link where you can actually send us a query. And if you have any other question or you want to learn more about HR related insights from Haji Azmi based on his experience, you can also check with us. Yeah, check with us on his trainings. We can actually give you all the insights of his trainings that we have. Okay, so before okay, just to let you know, these are the list of upcoming webinars that we have in line for National Training Week. And now we have the available slots is Mastering Emotional, this particular training. This is the latest technology, AI technology, to trace down your voice analysis, to demonstrate your voice analysis, to identify the person's emotion, stress. You can also identify the personalities from this AI technology. So please come over, especially the HRs or any managers, do come over and check out. Yeah, do come over and check out. Yeah, it's tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Do come over and check out these amazing tools in the market in Malaysia. Yeah. Okay, so before we end, let me okay, we do have this is our social media. Do follow us, and we do have a contest. Yeah, we do have a contest. This is support us. Please do like and follow our Training Art by IK Instagram and Facebook, and please find the contest poster, this particular poster, and do drop a comment with hashtag NTW 2024 with TA and hashtag follow and win. 3 lucky followers will be chosen for an exciting spin and win lucky draw where you could win our IK stylish laptop bag. Yeah, thank you so much once again for everyone to join this session today, and really glad that we can see all of you. Thank you so much. And okay, one more thing. All this recording, the slides and also recording slides and photos we'll be sending to you via email. Please give us some time, like at least 1 week, for us to process all the attendance and documentation in order for us to pass to you all. Yeah. And please make sure all your names are actually following NTW's registration, because we have to match your registration and the names accordingly for us to click completed. When we click completed in NTW, then only you can get your certificate. So thank you. And I think that's all from all of us. Please give us 1 week time. Yeah, please do
Right.
like
Thank
and
you.
follow our Facebook channel and YouTube channel. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
See you in a different
Bye-bye. All
channel.
right. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.